I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
The hell with that.
Oh, yeah. There's something in there.
Want one?
Yeah. Thank you.
It was worth it.
Time to get up. These glasses, jacket, and sweats, baby girl, that's a get up. It's chilly outside, but I'm ready to burn. Super hot fire when I move, better feel that burn. Get up before the sun is up, baby, let's work. Good morning. Ready or not, here I come, let's work. Good morning. Get up before the sun is up, baby, let's work. Nobody stopping you today. Low-key walking with a sway. Going for the distance, drop top, hopping in the range. East Coast, baby, but I'm popping in the A, let's go. This ATL, bro, go get it. Trend set it, we're embedded with the avant-garde. The style so synthetic, while a pioneer shine like a golden embellish, oh lordy. This your last warning. I've been waiting in the foyer. You put on the gas, I'm ready to go ahead.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh, God. No. Come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is... Oh! What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. He's dead. He ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't watch it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. What do you mean you can't?
He won't let go.
What do you mean he won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there. Now just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach. Hug him up.
He's breathing. I think it's on the other side.
Go.
I can't do it.
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Hey, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Hey, get the stick.
Yeah.
Hey, did you get the meat stick?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Yeah, I gotta take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself, you will die.
I'll tell you what, you finish the workout, all these could be yours. That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your, nope, get after it, and that's your treat. Stay, do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You gotta give it max effort, maximum effort. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big hams. Make it work, those hams. Work 'em. Putting in the work. Yeah, baby. Yes. This is a spicy workout. Gotta make it worth it. Building the beef and bringing home the bacon, baby. I'm loving it. Teriyaki is just about within your reach. Come on, get you some. Come on. Ooh, ooh. Maximum effort. Maximum effort. You're there. You're almost there.
That's so worth it.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days
Has a
ago.
dog been digging in there?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
The hell with that.
Oh, yeah, there's something in there.
Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Time to get up. These glasses, jacket and sweats, baby girl, that's a get up. It's chilly outside, but I'm ready to burn.
Super hot fire when I move, better feel that burn. Get up before the sun is up, baby, let's work. Good morning. Ready or not, here I come, let's work. Good morning. Get up before the sun is up, baby, let's work. Nobody stopping you today. Low-key walking with a sway. Going for the distance, drop top, hopping in the range. East Coast, baby, but I'm popping in the A, let's go. This ATL, bro, go get it, trend set it. We're embedded with the avant-garde, the style so synthetic. While a pioneer shine like a golden bellish, oh lordy. This your last warning. I've been waiting in the foyer. You put on the gas, I'm ready to go ahead.
Oh man. This is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it.
Careful!
Oh, God. No, come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is... Oh! What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. He's dead. He ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't put it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. What do you mean you can't?
He won't let go.
What do you mean he won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there. Now just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach. Hug him up.
He's breathing.
I think it's on the other side.
Go.
I can't.
Just-
I can't do it. Help!
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Hey, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Hey, get the stick.
Yeah.
Hey, did you get the meat stick?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, it's no worries. I got it.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Yeah, I gotta take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself, you will die.
I'll tell you what. You finish the workout, all these could be yours. That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your get after it, and that's your treat. Do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You gotta give it max effort, maximum effort. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big hams. Make it work, those hams. Work 'em. Putting in the work. Yeah, baby. Yes. This is a spicy workout. Gotta make it worth it. Building the beef and bringing home the bacon, baby. I'm loving it. Teriyaki is just about within your reach. Come on, get you some. Come on. Ooh, ooh. Maximum effort. Maximum effort. You're there. You're almost there.
That's so worth it.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days
Has a
ago.
dog been digging in there?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Welcome in, everyone. It's time to get right to the action. It's NECC time. Week 1 is bringing it to you live and loud, and Rocket League is finally taking its turn right in the middle of it all. I'm Hell Monkey Man in the booth alongside one of my greatest friends of the past several years to bring you yet another classic season of some good old NECC Rocket League. It is Bear, Lights, and Bear. We've got a triplicate of awesome players and teams that are all going to be bringing it out onto the pitch tonight. How are you doing, my man, as we get ready for the action?
Been far too long, Monkey. You know I love some NECC Rocket League, and to be back in the booth with you is something incredibly special. Of course, you know, it's no exception. We've just added schools, if nothing else, here at the NECC, so I'm excited to learn new faces, number one, see some familiar faces come back, and it be exactly where they left off and then some, right? Being able to create these stories is something that I'm super excited about. It's something we'll get to see in this Week 1 action right now.
We've got 2 big teams. It's a Division 1 matchup to kick things off. We've got 3 separate divisions. This first one is going to be a banger. You know them as the Zips. Well, how about the rest of the name? As Akron Blue will be taking on St. Edward's Hilltoppers. This is going to be a feisty one because of some shifting around. Akron Blue, they stayed the same. St. Edward's decided to go for an absolute haymaker as they're bringing Noli onto the pitch. That's a lot of professional, I guess, know-how between all these big ballers.
Yeah, the many years spent at Gen G. So if you want to hear about notable names, well, Noli is certainly one of those. But then you have the rest of that squad as well. Tater, who knows Rocket League better than anybody on the team, including Noli, by the way, because Noli's really pinpoint focus on the team that he's on. But Tater's learning it all, taking it all in. So you've got him and Wellis, who is really around that Tier 2 scene forever and really has stuck around, has been a very key player for a very long time, and will be a certain contributor here, of course, with St. Edwards, as he has been for quite a while. When you look at Akron, though, you know this team very well. They've made RLCS. You've seen these names before. Patty, one of my good friends from back in the day as well. Love to see him, and when he's performing, this team performs like no other. 5UP, of course, is one of the bigger names that we've seen around the Rocket League scene recently. So this will be a battle and one to remember for sure, man.
This is going to also be a battle of intestinal fortitude. Apparently, between Patty and Wellis, Patty apparently every time that they go and travel to lands here for Akron Blue Zips, they end up with a food challenge, and apparently he also plays mouse and keyboard, so he knows how to gut check it out. But Wellis has to eat, and I kid you not, they stated a minimum of 3,200 calories per day, or else the dude loses weight. So, like, I don't know what it is. They're going to be eating each other up, hopefully, out there. And all day today, it's going to be a best of 7. So you've got some long series that these guys are going to have to get through. You talk about the seniority as well as the experience between these squads. Akron actually still has a chance to hang on for these players, or to these players, for a little bit longer, because both Patty and Bullseye are juniors, with 5UP being that sophomore. They could have this team for literally another season after this one. And St. Edwards, they may be shifting things around since he got a grad student with them, but Noli as a freshman, there's a lot of power that's on this team.
Yeah, 100%. You have a player that's going to be there for a long time that can be that base that Akron was when he stepped up 3 years ago. I remember him actually making that transition from the Stay Plugged In world into that role, and has really taken it by storm. So you've seen them be able to build around it from the Akron standpoint. St. Edwards is going to be no different as well with Noli there. So yes, things are shifting, but you have, and we saw it with Akron as well, these impact players. They make that difference right off the bat. So, you know, when you see that, and then you add to the fact that they're able to stay and sustain that for multiple years, that's when you've seen success. We've seen it with Noli, with Gen G, and then that transition over to OG, and then was able to really gain and muster a lot of success. You're going to see the same with both of these squads as well.
That's very true. And I feel like both these teams, especially considering that they came in from that kind of professional side, you've seen them kind of dip their toes into it, that this could be going the distance, I think, into this series tonight as a great kickoff to that season. Akron Blue came up short. They went 0-2 when it was the beginning of the Nationals, or at least that Div 1 spring playoff, and then they couldn't quite make the mustard when it came to getting into it. So game number 1, by the way, already underway. So as we go into it, St. Edwards, the Hilltoppers, behind by 1. Akron is trying to set the tone.
Yeah, 3 minutes left here in this game number 1, so we bring you in 2 minutes in. And Akron already off to that hot start. Very eager to see where Noli fits into the piece of this puzzle here before, because we've obviously seen the Hilltoppers before, but not with this level of impact player. And right off the bat, well, right on cue, you've got an equalizer here from Noli.
Gonna find their way kind of into the thick of it, into the pattern, and into the regular rhythm that it's gonna be this season. Because you know the Hilltoppers, they actually kind of moved up and down between the Division 1 and Division 2 of just having kind of that challenge. We've seen them compete at this upper division here for NECC for a little bit, but felt like they needed a little bit something more, especially Wellis, who just shows up onto the pitch so often. Patty, the toe bean, not exactly sure what the reference is there, but he's gonna try and kick it out, because right now it looks like Akron is starting to get pinned back.
You see Tater being challenged there pretty early here as Akron's going to send it back into the St. Edward's side of things. Wellis trying to settle back into it. Took his time there in the corner, was able to punch it past one member of Akron Blue, but here in midfield you see the quick turn. Noli going to be challenged, and Bullseye certainly making it his duty to get out there quickly. The more space you give it to Noli, the less success you're going to find yourselves in, more compromising positions as well. So you'll see them challenge early, and that's what their goal is here, approaching this Hilltopper side. But St. Edwards is doing a great job to handle it right now, as their boost control has been pretty on point. So I like what I've seen in the first minute that we got in the sea so far.
Yeah, considering that Akron was actually breathing down their necks, you had so much small ball being acquired by the Zips, but they didn't really find much of a shooting opportunity. A bit of a double commitment between Bullseye as well as Patty. They've been on top of each other before when it comes to some of those big passes. That's what happens when you've been together for so long. But to that same degree, it's kind of a handoff over to the Hilltoppers. That's a nice challenge out. Wallace is going to aim for a bit of time. He knows that he can't quite get it away, so he has to rely on Noli. He's going to send it back to the corner. We're down to 90 seconds. We have not decided or found out who's going to be ahead.
Yeah, I don't think we will for a couple of games, to be honest. I think this will be a back and forther for sure. Again, best of 7 here in Divisions 1 through 3, so we'll see actually 3 best of 7s here tonight. But Bullseye's got an opportunity here. Finally, a little bit of space, but it's going to be cut off very quickly as it falls back into the hands of Wellis. Quick little juke move there as he tried to settle it back down with a wave dash. That one's challenged pretty quickly. Noli here at midfield. Tap it down where Patty was challenging it. Tater right back on it too. Sidewall chance. More room to work with, but Patty was easily shutting it down there on the short side.
There's definitely an experienced bit of patience being established right now by the Hilltoppers. Noli is kind of commanding the troops even from that freshman position. He has so much experience because why not? Make sure to just communicate out there. 5 up. He's on a breakaway, but not a lot of boost to actually do much with it. So Noli just gives him the old chin tap to remind him what's what. Everyone's kind of collaborating in the middle of the pitch right now out of the Zips. 5 up going for a flip reset. He does acquire it. 30 seconds though. Hot shot tried and attempted here by Akron as the St. Edwards Hilltoppers see themselves under threat, but it goes barring out.
Yeah, you don't see very many opportunities, so I get it in game number 1. It's kind of tough to land those sometimes, but it feels like it was needed here in this moment, especially when it's been this tight. But 13 seconds left. Bullseye will try to find one with 5 up. We'll go straight up for it and then tap down. Where's the challenge there? Akron's going to take that all day long. 5 up will give Akron the lead.
You had Wellis kind of streaming out, and the last one then left was Noli. Noli had to back up because Tater was rotating just directly to the middle of the net, so he tried to not get bumped down. By the time that they were repositioning deeper onto the post, that's when 5 up came down. So one goal can be all the difference here. Noli's hoping to just land one right in the hexagons. This will go errantly and outwards over for the Zips, as they'll take game number 1. And I think that we've seen the beginning of what's going to be a very close series.
Yeah, it was an L for St. Edwards, obviously, on the scorecard. I wouldn't take it as an L for the rest of the series because they did make a couple of mistakes, and they were still able to make it that close. I think, obviously you want to be able to clean that up as soon as you possibly can, but I would like to see them definitely dive in a little bit earlier and clean up those mistakes. And it's as simple as simplifying your game, right? Just being able to get back to the fundamentals. Right now, it seemed like you got out of position there defensively and a couple of chances there, but it's very tough to go up against Akron, who makes very minimal mistakes, even this early in the season, when you're expecting to see at least a few more, even from these Division 1 boys.
You know what's cool is that we got to be able to talk to, or maybe not talk to directly, but get some extra information about a lot of these squads. You heard about it from the, the big eaters that both Patty as well as Wellis are. But same thing for 5 up. They got a nice dunk down that was able to really be the tide turner at the very end of the game, right when everything was getting a little bit chaotic. He's top 3 and 2s. So knowing how to kind of make use of maybe more boost, but kind of narrowed space and jumping at opportunities, he's kind of used to it and being that feed guy. definitely a player that a lot of folks are looking at where he might go to and for like an ARLCS and seeing where he might flow. So same thing has to be seen and found out by the Hilltoppers as we go into game number 2. We didn't get to see the beginning of the last one. Let's check out how fast this one goes.
Yeah, exactly. Saw 3 goals in a matter of 2 minutes for sure. That's all we could really calculate. But at the end of the day, I talked about Noli and his ability to create chances in the open. And you called out 5-up for, having those 2 skills, which definitely helps you on the offensive side, especially when you get that extra space. But it also allows you to shut down that space really quickly. We saw that against Noli. Obviously, the point of emphasis there for St. Edwards. And I know they're a lot deeper team than just Noli. But it's also when you have that impact player and you're able to silence them, especially when you have a leader of that sort who's been around the block quite a bit at the pro scene, that's when you want to be able to challenge them. But right now, he's causing all sorts of trouble with his Akron defense.
This is a very kind of narrowed and awkward rotation, and Patty decided they just need to go for a slapper directly into Willis's eyebrow, but unfortunately, that has kept the Hilltoppers nearby. They're playing this one very close to the vest, feeling like they didn't win in the small ball factory. This is going to be a drop back from the backboard. A set up over to Willis. They're giving them the good to go. If they can get one last dunk, they might be able to break through. Iron Fortress of Zips keeps solid for the moment, and now they begin their 1-2 passing play, trying to be able to pinch it out, but that one stayed on the ground.
But, I think there was something to that in St. Edward's challenges there to play a little bit slower, utilize the back wall a little bit, especially when Akron finally gave them a little bit of room to work with. But look out! And the answer is there. Patty is not going to be his fastest goal of the season, but listen, it works nonetheless. Akron Blue will take the 1-0 lead.
Just eating them up. That's part of the Patty challenge. Where is he going to place it? You have Bullseye you have Willis that was trying to fly by in the middle of that net, seeing if he could guess where it was going to drop, and he put it where and whence he came, right behind him in a soft kind of plop. So, first 90 seconds, sees the Zips get up early. How about another one for the road?
Patty really is one of those players. I don't want to use the word streaky because he doesn't really get into bad streaks, but when he gets hot, he gets extremely hot. And really, plays start to find him to some degree. And it's not that it's just luck, right? It's not pure just good luck. It's he really does find the spaces where the ball is most likely going to be. He reads the play just a little bit better whenever he has that confidence. So this team clearly is showing him the way, showing him the confidence, and we get to showcase himself here in front of everybody here at NECC.
I wonder if when he pops off and, you can't toss your controller down, does he just, slam the keyboard? Just rip it straight out of the USB? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, has to.
There goes your space bar every now and then. Man has a full customized kind of rubber mat just to make sure it doesn't get crushed. Noli's going to try and take control. He's got one option in the middle of the pitch, and it's going to be Wellis that tries to come up. But Tater will retreat. They want to reassert themselves upfield. It has been so tough for them to really get this offense started. They looked really solid in the beginning moments, but it was some of the kind of narrowed corner play that really didn't pan out. Tater is going to get one stop. 5-up is already pre-jumped. He's going to try and find it for the post. Can't get the bump, and now they go streaking upfield.
Yeah, and Patty was just a nuisance to kind of deal with there on the defensive side and was looking for a pass here. Utilizing that streak behind him to be able to get back to that one without utilizing any more boost. So that was good. Job from Patty to be able to just avoid that bump to you. Patty's up there as well, getting a demo. I mean, he is all over this pitch, number one, not only offensively, but he's getting bumping that up physicality up like we like to see, Monkey.
Look, if they're eating out there, they got some size, and they want to make sure that everyone knows about it. Bulls guys is going to try and drop this one right back down. Wellis with a nice save. Unfortunately, though, for the Hilltoppers, that has been their highlight for this game, is simply being able to be defensive. The opening, 45 seconds has been all of a mirage right now. Patty is a serve and a dish over to 5-up. Can't quite navigate there as Wellis was right in the way. Tater's trying to tell him he's going to be able to give the good to go, the 1-2 combo over to Noli. There's not any boost in Willis's cage, so he's going to have to let that one slide on by. A very, very aggressive back pass over to his teammate just to try and keep things honest. But we got sub 90 seconds approaching here, Bear, and St. Edwards is still looking for that first goal.
Yeah, and Hilltoppers are really just, they've gotten a lot of their energy used was getting out of trouble. For example, there was an underrated save from Wellis where he was backwards and found it. Trying to find a goal there too, pressing the box for the very first time. But a lot of their efforts going into really trying to focus to keep it close rather than trying to find a goal. Finally, things are starting to turn around, but a good save there from Bullseye.
Nice little redirect. It's kind of an awkward spot. 5-up, though, navigates it very well. They patiently bring it to the backboard. So 1 minute approaching. Quick combination play as they draft that one up and a chance over to Bullseye, but it's Patty with the hat trick. My man was eating early, and he's gobbling up dessert now.
Yeah, 100%. 3 in a row. Bullseye out in front this time. It was Patty that was really diving away from the play. It's kind of crazy that he's got the hat trick, considering the fact that he's also been the one out in front looking for bumps, the one defensively bailing them out. And obviously it doesn't work unless you have Bullseye putting on shots and also being a nuisance there out in front. So Patty just everywhere on this pitch right now, and certainly MVP early here in the first 2 games.
You saw at St. Edwards, they were very creative kind of on these onto the floor, see if you can trick out Zips a few extra time style plays. And as they slowed the game down, they allowed Akron to at least find moments and some avenues to escape. And as soon as things started to ramp up, there was just no response. They have been at the mercy of the bullying that the Zips are putting out there. From the sidewall and onwards, everything here is just gravy added to the mash that's been happening. Patty's got another one, possibly question mark. Wellis will answer and at least keep this one just at 3. 10 seconds to go. Can they find something for the road to go to game 3 with?
That's what they're looking for sure. A quick turn from Noli to try and amp that up, but that one's it'll probably hit the ground before anything happens. 5 up is going to pop it. 0-second rule applies. But really, it's going to be up to the Hilltoppers here to really prove to Akron that their pre-jumps that we're seeing here, that it's overconfidence as you see Akron take game number 2. You need to be able to prove that you're hanging in the series. Otherwise, Akron's going to have a lot of fun in this one. They could run away with this pretty quickly.
Akron is definitely a downhill running style team. You've got only 9 shots and 2 of them opposite side as well. So both sides are putting up the offense, but look at those 5 saves from out of 5 up. He was up and down, able to get assists. You have that Hattie from out of Patty. And I feel like this is a good look of what Akron Blue was, especially it's kind of their best form at the end of the spring semester going into at least the Nationals attempt. They didn't quite make it out of the spring. So now as we look at the Hilltoppers, they need to be able to kind of spring forth with something that, 5 up in the gang have not seen. Going to be tough to hear going to game 3.
And yes, I've been calling out that Noli has the experience from the RLCS level, but that doesn't necessarily make you a natural-born leader. It's not the way that St. Edwards plays necessarily, at least not yet. You have to kind of warm up to that fact. You have to, kind of get into season, if you will. Even though I know these players have probably been playing, obviously, prior to NECC, right? You have tryouts and you come in, you play a few games together before you get into this full-fledged season. But at the same time, you still need some time to acclimate a little bit. And I think, some of those older players that have been here for a little bit need to be able to kind of transition in the freshmen a little bit more so, and have that really leadership that you're looking for. The communication needs to be on point. Obviously, Noli can bring the Rocket League knowledge, so all the rest of the team needs to be able to teach them the St. Edwards Hilltoppers way and make sure that they have a chance here rolling into game number 3. And
it's not to be forgotten either. I believe it was Willis that was on a couple of teams as well. I think, was it Square One? Am I wrong? Weren't they with Karma for a second?
Yeah. That was a name.
Yeah.
I gotta look this up now.
So they've
like
been
I mentioned, definitely bubble scene, yes.
Yeah. They're not to the same degree as where Noli's been, but they can have the conversation. They can stick around.
Flashes of Brilliance, homies. Those are the 2 that I remember earliest.
Real. Okay, man, throwbacks. So the first 30 seconds, looking like it's getting indicated that we're going to have a lot of ambitious, a lot of confident offense coming out of Akron, as St. Edwards wants to put that conversation to bed for the moment. I love the interception here by Noli. He's really been the patrolman here in the middle of the pitch. Bullseye going for a negative angle play on the backboard of St. Edwards, trying to be nasty with it. They may get countered here, though, as we get triple commits at the corner.
And that'll open up the shot, and that's where Noli plays best, right? But unfortunately, it's still going to be defended because Akron's defense is just that good. So wasn't able to swing around it this time around, but Akron certainly has a wide open net there. 5 up takes that all day long. It feels like a lot of work for Hilltop, for the Hilltoppers, with not many results in Akron strikes on the other end.
Noli was expecting a touch, and I think he got bodied as that one bounced from that sidewall, just kind of open and honest. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's one of the freest ones that we've seen so far, Akron able to acquire. And at this point, St. Edwards has to find a different method. They've moved up into the midfield. Noli has really been able to open up some chances, and then Tater and Wellis find it from the wall onward. Right now, it feels like that everything is just being signed and sealed away, and Akron might actually have another chance. Look at the quick combination. A little bit too much on the sauce trying to get that pass back.
Yeah, and 5-Up certainly stepped up a little bit farther than they expected, but that's kind of going to happen after the 7th pass there develops. Finally, Noli able to find a little bit of ground here, so St. Edwards will definitely take this one. It's been a while since they were able to find it, and a great setup from Wellis nonetheless.
Fantastic shot. They drew a lot of defenders skyward, and it was 5-Up who has been so defensively minded. As much as he's enabling the offense and getting some great passes, he's also streaking in and finding those last-ditch effort plays just off camera, just out of your periphery, trying to confuse you, trying to just keep you out there. A bit of a team bump, though, between Tater and Noli. That's going to really secure all the Hilltoppers upfield. Can't really do too much here, but they are finding those very squished-in passes. Noli wants to drop one to the backboard, and they might be able to key up one here from the top of the stripes, and they do! St. Edwards finally gets a lead.
And Noli is so good about finding the right place, knowing where the teammate is going to tap it down, has the best option, and has a no-hesitation attitude whenever he's at the top of the box. This is what made him so successful when we saw him last time with Calm, with OG. That was one of the things that certainly stood out to me. It doesn't matter how tight the window is. If you give him a window at all, he will find a way to find it. And now Hilltoppers, yes, one of the first leads here in all of the series, so they're going to keep themselves relevant here.
One of those things that is kind of a trap is whenever we see BO7 series, the first 2 games, if they go 2-0, we see some squads, they let loose the reins. They get a bit undisciplined, and then they find themselves giving up more than they had before. Sometimes there's a fundamental bit of boringness that comes to really establishing control of a game. St. Edwards, they're getting Akron Blue to bite a whole lot more than they maybe can chew.
Yeah, this time around, just full commit forward, so... it's not a mistake you see very commonly from Akron, but I think, the Hilltoppers are doing exactly what I said they needed to do, which is to prove to Akron, if you're going to let up the gas, we for sure have solutions. Like, I didn't feel like they were really sleeping throughout the first couple of games. I certainly thought they could have made better decisions in some instances, but as you see, it continues to just rain on Akron Blue, and suddenly they're on their heels for the first time in the series for sure.
It also feels like it's a weirdly playful kind of... I guess, deficit that they're setting into. The way that Akron Blue plays Patty and Bullseye and 5-Up, everyone is very personality driven. It feels like they aren't really they're nonplussed about it. Nothing is really kind of getting on their nerves, but now they start to get more into a fundamental rotation to see how much of that works. St. Edwards is enjoying some of the free flight space. They were being blocked. They were being bodied. They were being put to the graveyard over and over again with demo after demo. And now that they're finding themselves be successful, they're finding Akron with a bit of that state of confusion. Nice demo and good focus. Bullseye just makes it 1.
Even though you establish a lead, right, as Hilltoppers, you're starting to feel good about a game. That can disappear extremely quickly, especially against Akron. So you never want to get too comfortable in this series. And it doesn't look like they let off the gas themselves either. But again, you just have to make sure you create 0 opportunities for Akron. Don't let them get to their game, and that's way easier said than done because it's pretty clinical for them. But Noli will punch it right back into their zone. Bullseye not able to connect on that corner, and Noli leaves it for Wellis. That will be a shot on. Bullseye was a little bit awkward, but he's able to flip his car in an awkward way. But either way, was able to get to that save here and 5-Up will control here in the corner.
That was one of those moments where you don't know if you should stay on the post for that long. Patty, what a nice redirect. It's a soft give and go. They have the third man committing. They don't have any extra adjustments to find. Patty's going to loom and lurk just as long as he can here in front of the box. 50 seconds to go. There's getting the small ball passing play, but that is being sighted out. Wellis wants to profit off of his findings. Tater has to retreat. They're bumping him. He gets just enough of a tire. This is going to be a difference between can they hold to get it to 2-1, or can we get to tied and maybe have a conversation for a 3-0 just before match point.
Monkey, this is the pace that I think a lot of the viewers wanted to see here from this matchup. You see them start to go end-to-end and reading each other's plays. You see the anticipation really starting to amp up both ways. The Hilltoppers showed a prime example of that, and Wellis was almost able to put this one away, but Akron still has this opportunity with 14 seconds left as Shader tries the flip reset. It's denied. Patty off the corner, couple of touches. This one, 5-Up the patience! Equalizer with just 6 seconds left.
He knew if he stepped in just a little too soon, just into either the post or the defender right there at a Wellis, that it was going to be done and over. All he had to do was wait. One little side flip, nice extra pickup, 3-3 added up. That's the 6 seconds we got left.
Oh, man. Not a red flag yet for St. Edwards, but definitely a yellow one. You need the next goal, honestly, obviously for this game, but for the series it feels like at this point. Otherwise, you got to dig out from match point. We go to overtime here in game number 3, and the Hilltoppers watch their 3-1 lead start to disappear. Taters on this one, though, had an opportunity to shoot, but saw there was a defender back. I'm not sure if that's the right decision going off the back wall, but certainly knew that the shot was going to be challenged either way.
It's a little bit of loss of focus. They're seeing all the momentum just run out of their sails. The wind is gone. They are in dead water, whereas Akron Blue has brought at least a few extra engines. They're slamming down the gavel, and judgment has been heard. They're guilty of giving up 3 goals in a row.
Well, shouted from the hilltops that unfortunately St. Edwards feels like they gave this one away. Akron certainly created their own luck there, and they're able to take it to match point here in this best of 7. Led by Bullseye there with the overtime winner. And Akron in prime real estate now. And, both of us kind of felt like this would be the trend here in this series. Not to discredit St. Edwards. Obviously, Noli and what he brings has been special. And Wallace has certainly showed up in times. And Tater's actually been that third, that part of St. Edwards that I didn't know much about, but certainly learning. I've seen good things and flashes of brilliance here, if you will. Yeah, I did it. But not everything for you. Isn't that right, Chief? Isn't that right?
Isn't that right, Chief? Mwah. Yeah, biggest thing that I saw as well, I mean, you look at the 11 shots that was kind of posted up, everything assisted from the side of Akron being able to find their way and navigate through that deficit. You're seeing the experience of what a team that has kind of been together for a hot minute versus one that is now finding star power and experience to kind of build up and really kind of swell your program and this current roster. But just gave that game away. That one ended up being just good focus, grinding it out late term and never letting anything kind of get into the back of your head for Akron Blue. Okay, we've been in these moments before, so against some of the best and biggest names in Collegiate Rocket League. What do we got to do next? And like you had mentioned, that was a very important game, not just because it puts into 3-0, but with them falling at that 3-1 and letting that roll into overtime, the mental boom in that kind of warfare is now completely swung in favor of Akron.
St. Edwards, if it's going to happen, it's got to happen early in this game before you figure. As Noli tries to spark something, which is a deep shot. That's going to be a couple that are going to challenge it early. And it seems like St. Edwards is falling in this mindset of, hey, let's put everything on net. Eventually, Akron, we might be able to break through because of it. And we saw it happen 3 times early in last game. So what can they muster here with this combination of 3? It's been a slightly, stronger debut from Noli here in the NECC from my perspective here. That being said, it still doesn't feel great whenever not only you're down 3-0 in the series, but 1-0 here in Game 4.
I would love to kind of hear him and maybe a culture change, what some of those extra comments might be of having to go into the university side of collegiate esports in general, competing when there's all that community that comes in as well. Just seeing how some of that shifts and is dynamic away from just the professional side. Looking at it from an Akron standpoint, a little bit of a love touch between them as they continue to just rotate freely and really put everything against the Hilltoppers as much as they could be able to handle. Noli from the ground, he'll actually bail himself out, deciding he's just not going to be able to go for that shot. St. Edwards, seeing so many blue streaking cars, this one's going to drop in. It's going to be 1-1 after the first minute.
Yeah, that was an easy setup for sure. Off the back wall, and you see the transition doesn't take any time at all. If you're going to score, that's how you're going to do it against Akron. As 5-up was a little bit too far forward, it seemed like they were out of rotation ever since that little miscue there on the rotations happened. And, honestly, this hasn't been the cleanest of games that I've seen from Akron by any means. So if they're going to want success later in this NECC season, obviously cleanup is in store. But even though St. Edwards has scored one to equalize here with 3:38 left, I'm not in panic mode by any means from Akron, who's certainly put themselves in the driver's seat, especially when you get plays like that from 5-up.
Okay, first off, 5-up was the first man up. He was going to be able to grab this just after Noli had the deflection. He was still in flight. And then Bullseye was like, hey, man, I'll give you the high five early, just as Patty was waiting in the wings. All of Akron within just feet of each other. I actually don't know what units they use in Rocket League, but they were very, very close. Car units.
Patty will just stay on the back wall of St. Edwards, so Maybe trying just to have a presence that out in front. His 5-up challenged by Tater went all the way up to the ceiling this time around. That'll leave it into the hands of Bullseye. Now is an opportunity. Well, it's rather. He gets a good flick. Not quite the one he wanted, but it still works as Tater was able to jump up in his place. A bit of a hesitation worked there as well as worked that space really nicely.
Awkward mishandle right here. That as you have everyone kind of looking at the Zips net, and Wallace was like, all right, well, if you're going to let me roll this up, I've got a teammate. We just have to bulldoze this. Just get a connection, see if it works. Tater's going to find a freebie. Okay, suddenly we got a point swing, and it's going to the Hilltoppers' way.
They take those for sure off the kickoff this time, and Noli, we've seen that so many times too. Com would be the first one to tell you that how many goals he scored off of that exact kickoff is, beautiful. Love to see that from St. Edwards. Means that they're certainly not out of this mentally. But mechanically, we'll see what happens here as Akron's known to put in lots of goals really quickly.
Did it in triplicate when they were down in that deficit just a game ago. Patty and 5-up. I believe they're left with a finisher, and you see two Hilltoppers racing forth to try and get there just in case there was a miss. In fact, there was. Having to handle this one as a precarious notion to head towards their own net. Noli waiting for a 50. He's got Wellis in his wing. Tater's waiting at the top of the key, hoping that something will pan out, and Bullseye refuses to take a step forward, but he is airborne. And all of Akron is starting to deplete. St. Edwards is setting up for the long haul. They want to be able to build up this lead. They want to find this first game here for the season.
Trying to reorganize now as Noli eventually calling everybody else off. He's from the sidewall now looking for a pass. Wellis up, but not quite quickly enough to handle that hot pass. And Noli almost got an extra touch on that as well. In the corner is going to be Tater. He'll eyeball some teammates, wait for it, play extremely patiently. And Patty was kind of freaking out a little bit on the back wall. You don't see that happen to him very often.
Yeah, that was a rare moment. We actually saw 5-up go in and out of the server for all of a hot second as they did have a game crash, but they joined just in the nick of time and actually extended this one upwards as a demo, trying to establish some level of physicality. But remember, it came in just the waning seconds for this squad to get an overtime online and unlocked. They might be able to do that again. This has still been close games. The second one was the most errant between it. But St. Edwards, they don't want to let anything bleed through as the Zips are trying to reestablish some level of presence here on the pitch.
Oh my goodness, watch this from Noli. Still there in the zone, in the box. Set up everything, but the teammate wasn't quite able to finish it off because Akron did just enough to kind of keep them at bay, but Noli is starting to come alive. It still seems like a little bit later in the series, but you love to see those type of plays to keep them pumping.
It's got to keep them frisky, keep them hot. Hilltoppers, less than a minute to go. Can they get one game? You got to be able to start the reverse sweep somehow, and it's got to come from the first one. Game number 4 might be theirs if they can hold for 40 more seconds. 5-up is a setup. Noli was able to read it, but they were up early. He took the second man away. Bullseye cannot adjust. Patty takes the boost. He's going to try number 2. It's going to be 5-up just behind it. Another big takeaway. Noli says no.
The 5-up is still on this ball, and Patty's far post and able to tuck it in. Another late time goal to equalize for Akron.
They're going to hate the 3-3 scoreline, Bear. You see that one, you're going to start just kind of shaking your head and feeling the rattles. 23 seconds. Does Akron take this one away in regulation, or do we see bonus Rocket League?
Oh, man. The way that Akron likes to punch it in late, I wouldn't be surprised if they got on the board again, but we'll have to see. Maybe it's going to be St. Edwards instead. Oh, Noli says, I've got your back. Let's go. Let's ride it. 15 seconds left. Hilltoppers on top.
The eye of the needle. 5-up, just a little bit late. Patty was sitting on the ground. You have 2 defenders on the floor. No one from the backboard in that sudden moment. So a swift turn of the script, and then all the script writers rewrote. This one comes from the sidewall. Bullseye, does he have anyone in support? All the cast of the Zips will make themselves comfy. Oh, Patty with a dunk. He can't get a piece of it. Seconds remaining. 5-up trying to keep it up, and they're going to slam that one down. The Hilltoppers not to be denied. We've got a game 5, and we finally got some life here from St. Edwards.
And I feel like they're leveling up over and over again. Our St. Edwards, and game 1 did not look great. Game 2 started to look close. Game 3, had a lead for an extended period of time, but they couldn't quite hold it. They couldn't play the full 5 minutes. And in game number 4, they were able to do it all. They were able to play that 5-minute game, go goal for goal there from Akron. And there was no point in time where Akron was trying to freestyle or looked fancy. You saw their personality come out in the sweat department, but less so in the trying to style on them department. So they still made big plays, but Noli was a little bit stronger. That's where that experience really comes in, right? When you have pressure situations, which you've seen at the highest level, suddenly you get on stream at NECC, which for a lot of players would be extremely nerve-wracking. For Noli, it's just another day. Business as usual, man.
He's been there, done that, got the t-shirt, got the jersey, and also got a major win at one point. So yeah, he's been able to kind of help that out and definitely showcase that no matter how much of a sudden flash of talent that you're going to get out of Akron, that he's going to be there to at least challenge it, go in and not allow them to do what they just want to freely, and can come up on the other side of the pitch with a big goal if Akron decides to get the tiniest bit undisciplined. So we got ourselves a game number 5. Now, Bear, when it comes to 3-0s and being on match points, that game number 4 is most often the one that gets dropped by teams that are, okay, we didn't quite finish it out. Do they finish it out here? Do we see a 4-1? Does St. Edwards take that next step?
I don't think we see a 4-1, Monkey, but I do think it's going to be a pretty tight game. I do think Akron definitely has the tools to close out, and that's a good first step there from 5-up. So we'll see if it holds true, but right now, so far, so good, I guess, in their eyes.
Zip says, stop the count. It's over. 5-up got the slammer that went home, 74 miles per hour. That would get you a ticket if the cops were looking. St. Edwards, well, and also depending on where you're driving, they're going to see themselves suffer early. That is also how Akron tends to score. They come at you and they just throw speed. Tater's throwing a fast one. Look at that redirect. Noli hanging out like Spider-Man on the sidewall.
Woo, baby. That's what I want to see from Noli here. Tater set him up to perfection. That flick was unbelievable. 2 diving hands of Akron and still found the perfect window. What did I tell you, Monkey? Give him a little bit of window. Noli's going to finish.
My man, like a tornado in a trailer park, just throwing that ball as quick as he could. And then another F5 just showed up in the form of Noli. Wow, 2v1. Patty has to navigate this, and he does so well. Wellis, with not a lot of boost, will find a 50, and then Noli will keep this one upfield. So talk about finding inspiration. The comms had to have popped off from that previous play.
I love to see everything about that play from Tater setting them up, which they've been doing the whole series long. Now you got Wellis joining the party as well. This team is clicking on all cylinders right now. Akron, again, every step that they take could be a step where the Hilltoppers feel outmatched, feel outmannered, and it never is. This team is sticking around, and I'm really impressed here at this point. A believer in the reverse sweep, that's a conversation we're going to have a little bit later, but I like what they're doing right now.
If this one goes, we start having a much more serious version of that one. Tater going for the bump. He can't quite get to the defender. Wellis's previous shot, by the way, great decision to kind of go for that mid bounce. They're going to find no one at home. St. Edwards finds 3 goals inside the first minute after Akron was trying to set the tone. They reversed that entire notion.
Yeah, man. Well, I was about to say it's going to be 4-1 St. Edwards instead, but we got 4 minutes left in this game, so it is a literal question mark on the pitch right now. You might as well print that at midfield as far as what's going to happen here in this one. Because if I know Akron, I know that they can also come back. I mean, we've already seen it, right? In game number 2, they were able to erase that 2-goal deficit plus win in overtime. So they're no strangers for being behind. Sure, they made a couple of mistakes, but here's Bullseye already threatened them. But Wells is able to play it to the corner here and try to settle it down, but that's loosely played. This one is going to fall right to Patty. We'll try to direct it on target, but luckily for St. Edwards, Noli going to build him out.
I feel like we're destined for a 3-3, and 5-up is making me feel it even more. At 3:33, we come up 2-3. This setup is a nice little softie. They force Noli to have to jump. He doesn't have any actual boost for a challenge. So his teammates, I mean, they're still trying to hoof it back to the defensive side. And Akron Blue, this is a very feisty game. We could end up with 9 goals between these two with the pace that we're hitting right now.
Yeah, barn burner for sure. And Wellis thought about the psycho for a minute, thought against it, and wisely, as all of your teammates were back down this way. If it doesn't go right, you just give away possession. So I like that decision. Especially with Patty all the way back in his own goal. So wise to pull it back down. Bullseye still on this one, though. Saw Patty all the way across and had a teammate close, but maybe committed on a little bit too soon. Although Patty was still ready for it as well. He'll have it off the sidewall. That extra touch. Noli got up just to challenge him and get a touch on it. Otherwise, that one would have been extremely dangerous there for Akron Blue.
This is something that's been missing. These direct 1-2s off of these passes. Akron, they love to go immediately to one another to just kind of zigzag the field, really make it tough to navigate. 5-up is deep in his net. He does end up jumping and finding a massive piece of it, and will continue that on, giving it to his main man in Bullseye. Ooh, streaking across. Patty's going to try and kind of rotate this midfield as both Bullseye and 5-up go in for anything that St. Edwards is trying to chop down, seeing if they can just cut him off at the draft. Bullseye ends up kind of in the midst of that crisscross between Hilltoppers. You know, that early 5 was all of what, a minute and a half ago at this point, but everything has definitely gone quiet on the scoring front.
And speaking of being quiet, 5-up, the Stay Plugged In Coca-Cola All-Star, now here at Akron Blue, found himself a very viable home. Has had a lot of success with this team as well as the RLCS level, and now looking to create more of his own. He's really heated up here in this game. But time's a little getting away from them. You're absolutely right. A minute 48 left here on this clock. This one will bounce to center. Now we've got a pass off. Patty was able to beat the defender, but has an awkward angle, so not able to touch it down. And Bullseye committed. This one should be wide open, but 5-up gets back to it just in time before Wellis can punch it in.
Just as he came back in. That is great looks and great work. And everything I think that these teams just weren't settled brought into the game. St. Edwards was able to get themselves through that previous game. And as Akron tried to kind of set the fire and heat, it was completely turned up to 11 by the Hilltoppers. They found those 3 quite swiftly. Now they're just making things difficult for Akron to get around this pitch. Noli's underneath this. He's aiming for small pads. Bullseye's hoping for a setup. That is a miss from their teammate, but they've got Tater in the back wing. 1 minute to go. We may be starting to see this next game forthcoming.
Oh, man, and they're in trouble, though. Luckily, they got it out there because Noli got his boost taken by a teammate, and it was kind of out of rotation there. It was the last man back to try to make a save and wasn't there. But St. Edwards was able to swing around, get that save. Now the shot taken, nobody back. Hello? Oh, no, not a mistake you can do at this point in the series. And once again, guess what scoreline is haunting the Hilltops? It's 3-3.
Wellis didn't have anything in the tank, was not already up, and he thought that particular back pass, or forward pass rather, from Akron, he'd be able to get there early. Just couldn't quite navigate that depth perception, and that was immediately going over to a teammate for the Zips. So 3-3 for the 3rd time in a row. 1 OT, 1 regulation, sub 1/2 minutes. St. Edwards needs not fold here.
And they're in the offensive zone. They played this last time. That one almost snuck through. But the defense was able to bang it off the post just in time. Noli's still on this one, though. Very dangerous in that moment. Top of the box. 5-up will pop it high. Opportunity, but Patty's on it already. Noli the quick turn. Still out of boost. He has been most of the series. Punches it towards Wellis. This one off the corner and bangs it. There's Bullseye. Almost got a piece of that. And boy, if he got it and directed that on target, would have been a goal. But instead, we have overtime.
That would have been a heck of a tumbler if he was able to get that one away. They slap Patty in the face. Wellis has boost. He's got a flip reset. He's aiming to isolate the goalie. Akron will settle, though, as they come back in. Watch out. That's a freebie. Tater goes flying by. That's going to be Noli that comes up with it. Some key moments for St. Edwards. Could have had themselves some game-winning shots, some series-extending moments. Instead, we just continue on with OT.
Taking my breath away, but not in the right ways here with St. Edwards. When they had a wide open opportunity, and then Akron was almost able to punch it back the other way. And yeah, that's not the way you want to go down. But no harm done. Patty from the sidewall. Noli looked like he got a little bit ahead of it, but was able to adjust and hit just enough of an upward trend to be able to get to that ball. Well, it's in midfield. This one could be sheltered by Patty. Shot taken. Oh, what a save there from Tater. Not only to avoid the bump, but to make the save.
He's being abused back there. Wellis doesn't have any boost. He's just going up to put a car there. Trust in Bullseye. Bullseye in a 1v1, but it's really not much. He's going to say thank you and give him a nod as he gets demoed. We'll find at least 34 back in his tank on the other side of the pitch. We're a minute 15 here. Waiting on one of these squads to either end the series or otherwise. Noli stays patient, stays the course, just off on the post. You're getting a lot of physicality now. Some extra demos from out of the Zips, out of both sides. St. Edwards Seeing this one possibly go the wrong way. Big dog!
Oh,
it's
baby! Patty with the ice. Oh, you love to see it. Goes up high and gets it. That one angle is not hit very often. My goodness, the way he pointed his card down. And it would take a goal like that to finally beat the Hilltoppers. Sure, they put up a lot of effort here in this one, but Akron Blue, your winners of this series, 4-1.
Akron Blue had to put this series under a microscope to see where in the world and how and which way that they can get beyond St. Edwards. Things were starting to get a bit dicey. All of the extra pizzazz, the spark of creativity, started getting very narrowed into a very fundamental cause, and that was St. Edwards just getting up and down that pitch, finding great challenges, some key moments from them. We cannot forget that big tornado flick that was able to go from Tater over to Noli and then off that redirect. That was spicy, but it was Akron Blue, this team that has been together for a long while and will have possibly another year of doing the same roster, that just did not bend, and they're able to take it 4-1.
Yeah, you sure were. What a way to kick off the NECC season as well. Great series to start off. I get it was a 4-1, but the way Hilltoppers stuck around was certainly something to really check out to you. And we've got two teams as well. Tell them about a Monkey Man from two spots of the esports world that are really heating up. Indiana, number 1, versus Huntington as well, the Alabama school that certainly is very active in the esports scene and recruiting. It should be a good one coming up here in just a minute.
It's going to be a fun time. We've actually known a lot of folks that have come from both these schools to include directors and otherwise, but it's going to be the Hoosiers and the Huntington Hawks. And in case you want to see that Division II as well as a Division III match, we've got Texas Tech against Arkansas State, the Red Wolves and the Red Raiders. It's a battle of the Reds and who's going to be able to come out on the other side. All that and more. NECC so far, week 1 has been absolutely fantastic, and that's because of all of you out there. Make sure to stick with us. We're going to take a short break, get more Rocket League at you right after this.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Hey, I gotta take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself, you will die.
I'll tell you what, you finish the workout, all these could be yours. That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your, nope, get after it, and that's your treat. Do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You gotta give it max effort, maximum effort. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big hams. Make it work, those hams. Work 'em. Putting in the work. Yeah, baby. Yes. Dude, this is a spicy workout. Gotta make it worth it. Building the beef and bringing home the bacon, baby. I'm loving it. Teriyaki is just about within your reach. Come on, get you some. Come on. Ooh, ooh. Maximum effort. Maximum effort. You're there. You're almost there.
That's probably worth it.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days ago.
Dog been digging in here?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
Hell with that.
Ah, yeah, there's something in there. Ah!
Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Time to get up. These glasses, jacket and sweats, baby girl, that's a get up. It's chilly outside, but I'm ready to burn.
Super hot fire when I move, better feel that burn. Get up before the sun is up, baby, let's work. Good morning. Ready or not, here I come, let's work. Good morning. Get up before the sun is up, baby, let's work. Nobody stopping you today. Low key walking with a sway. Going for the distance. Drop top, hopping in the range. East Coast, baby, but I'm popping in the A. Let's go. This ATL, bro. Go get it. Trend set it. We're embedded with the avant garde. The style so synthetic. While I pioneer shine like a golden bellish. Oh, lordy. This your last warning. I've been waiting in the foyer.
You put on the gas, I'm ready to go ahead.
When they say I'm a machine gun, I take it as a compliment. Honey, you should know I can be a weapon. faces in the crowd, but I think that I see you. One too many days got me changing up the way that I need you. Now we're both.
Oh man, this is incredible.
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh God! No, come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. I can't hold. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is. Oh. What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. He's dead. He ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't watch it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it.
Welcome in, everyone. It's time to get into our second match of the evening here for the NECC Rocket League Week #1 competition. Again, I'm Hale Monkey Man in the booth alongside Bear Lights. Bear, we had Division 1 to pop and start things off. Now Division 2 is on its way.
And Division 2 is no disappointment by any means. These two teams are red hot coming in from last season as well, found their success, and we have quite different stories to some degree. Obviously, Indiana is well known as being like a D1 school, for example, and certainly a bit around the block in the traditional sports lens, but also Indiana is a hotspot for esports as well, as we've seen from IEN, from the high school scene, from my perspective. So they've certainly got a lot of love out there, but Huntington College here in Alabama, a spot where it's like, is esports really popping off? Not at the high school level, but let me tell you who's doing it right, Huntington College. I know Justin Ellis came from that area, actually built Huntington College as the director there, had an entire year to build out their esports arena, get things prepared, and they have had lots of big names be able to coach here at this, arena that they built, and certainly have looked for the future as they have a lot of young stars coming into this match as well.
Yeah, you can actually say that this particular matchup is a battle of seniority versus newness as we go something old, something new. So you can get it all the way down there at the bottom of your screen. As we got the Hawks from out of Huntington and the Hoosiers from out of Indiana with the likes of Kodameister, Mist, and Pablo. And for Huntington, you've got Craig, Stinky Bus, and Silas. Craziest stat line that we got actually from these guys. Kodameister, they're junior. They are in computer information systems for their degree, but they're also the top 0.5% listener on Spotify of the song LMFAO. That dude must be dancing. They are just going berserk, trying to just prep for all of his games.
Hey, listen, Indiana's a party school, so I guess maybe it is. I actually don't know. I've never been there, but I've heard stories from friends that have gone there. Listen, if you're not having success, unless you're having fun, and they have fun as the Hoosiers down there in Indiana. So I honestly see this as being like such a banger matchup for week one. You know, sometimes it's like, oh, one team's not prepared coming in, so on and so forth. But really, when we consider both of these programs, I know that they're both going to be prepared. I know that at the D2 level, they're going to actually hit some nutty plays, and their team cohesion is something that I'm watching too. We're in for a treat here today, Monkey.
I'm wondering if we're going to be seeing the kind of big presence as well from kind of now the collegiate sphere of esports, because the two freshmen that we have in this matchup are Stinky Bus and Silas. So you're running the gambit of having the seniority out of the corner of Mist from the Hoosiers, and then Huntington, who I think is trying to establish, all right, this is what we're doing with our program. We've had a lot of good coaching, good direction, just general establishment to kind of get our foot in the door, and we're trying to gain some respect. But what are we going to present out onto the pitch tonight, especially in a best of 7 kind of sphere? There's a lot of these awesome students and a lot of these players that come through. They've played at that upper level when it came to their high school. I've gotten to see some of the competition that comes out of Alabama's high school system. Very fun, very fast, kind of narrows the pathway into specific high schools, because that's where a lot of the talent kind of ends up all equalizing in one spot. I feel like the Hoosiers are going to definitely be tested to this one. And also, what is it with everyone being good at eating? I'm a fat boy at heart inside of this body, but like Pablo apparently won a hot dog eating contest too. Like, everyone's hungry tonight, man. Everyone wants to eat.
I mean, listen, absolutely. If you want to put food on the table, you got to be able to win these matches, right? No, but for real, like I've seen a lot of these players perform at the high school level as well. Silas was a prime example of this one. Luckily, I have the insight, as you can tell, from that scene. And Silas has actually made a case for himself as being a top 25 recruit here. So Huntington was able to pick them up. I think, when you talk about impact players, you think of Akron or St. Edwards like we saw in the last matchup. There are certainly a lot of students out there. When you look for a college as a high school player, you're really looking for where you want to make home for the next 4 years. And for me, Silas, certainly it felt like one of those stories where Huntington was a good fit. Not only that, but you get a scholarship to be able to play the game that you love and be able to focus on that on a regular basis as you're constructing your studies. I honestly see Silas as being a big difference maker and one to watch here today. It's at least my choice as far as who you should watch in this series, Monkey.
I'm going to be looking at his freshman cohort alongside him. I feel like Stinky Bus is also going to help him run the gambit. I've seen them play personally, and they definitely can be a special young star. But there's a lot of Hoosiers out there. They're going to try and tell us otherwise as we go into it. Early demos, 3 of them, in fact. Wow, Michael Bay, thanks for directing that kickoff.
Right into it, transforming into game number 1 here. But now you see Biscuit trying to turn on this one as well. Stinky Bus is right here to collect the change and settle things down from what was a very cinematic start. Biscuit again able to push it back in. Coda was prepared, but Stinky Bus was able to just collect it whenever he got demoed off the pitch. So now trying to cause a little bit of chaos there as well, as they're in the offensive zone, trying to turn it into another demo. So it looks like a little bit of leftover from the demo-heavy physical nature that we saw in the last game of the last series.
Looking like, though, we've already got, about 7 or so demos between both these teams. And you're seeing Huntington Hawks, they're actually testing out the perimeter play as well as just general positioning from out of the Hoosiers. Feels like Indiana has kind of settled way back, maybe not comfortably so, but with their shoulders and their elbows touching the wall, having to start consistently and over and again. Mist from the midfield, looking kind of like Noli. Pablo's going to have all the boost. Mist is going to let him go. And this is actually just going to drop on and in. Pablo finds that as an air-hanging shot, and they'll find his first goal.
Yeah, an interesting way to start off the series after what was a bloodbath early, but sometimes just a little bit of speed is enough to get it done. So you go all the way to the ceiling for that reason. And 1-0 lead here for the Hoosiers. Indiana feeling pretty down-to-earth, comfortable in this series, it feels like. The demos are certainly not stopping. That's 2 right off the rip here, Monkey.
That was actually Stinky Bus who had kind of adjusted a bit too fast on the first touch. So good seniority there from out of Mist to just go for that first touch and then follow up as a little undercut. 1.5 minutes, pop shot will go way high. He's got to follow in Pablo, and they're hoping to maybe get the last man involved, but Kodemeister will actually get deleted. That one's by Silas, the player that you're looking after. See if they show up in this game, and there's been so much physicality. Both these all these teams are just running each other down right now and resetting the old bench.
Hard reset button was kind of needed to some degree. A little bit of chaos early. It still continues as Silas gets right back to it. Shot taken, but Pablo was ready for this one. To the corner goes. And not able to follow up on it was missed, though, as Stinky Bus directs it back on target, and Pablo finds missed by just a narrow margin to be able to get this one back out to the Huntington zone. But they're not able to do much more than that. Silas is being threatened here by Coda. And right back up to it here. Missed. Not able to get that extra touch, though. They're hit a little bit higher than they wanted to right off the rip there.
Big Biscuit hoping to get something kind of on target off of that flip reset, but both teams were taking shots. Okay, how did this one drop in? You had two defenders from that back line. They end up responding. This is good over the head of one. I think there was an assumption Stinky Bus was going to make that first connection.
Miscommunication for sure. You don't really see goals like that happen, especially when you have two members back. It just seemed like it was kind of between the two, where it was a little bit awkward. What a save there from Coda. But the follow-up shot is good, so they get back on the board here as Biscuit will find their way in after a short kickoff. It felt like a much-needed response here from Huntington as well, given the circumstances.
Desperately needed that one. Considering there was a couple of miscues, you're actually seeing the kind of the freshman 15 inside of this first couple of minutes from Huntington. They need to settle down. Feels like maybe some of the competition state has gotten to them just in terms of response. Get the comms up. Be able to kind of keep your shoulders loosened up. Stay cool, stay calm, stay collected. Hoosiers, though, they've been looking great. Stinky Bus with a set to Silas, the freshman-to-freshman connection. They do have Craig Biscuit out in the wings, but he can't really do too much. The Stinky Bus that came away with some boost. This is going to drop right over to Mist, who's very poised as he made that catch in his own box.
It certainly was, especially the way this has started. There's been quite a few miscues. Both teams looking to settle in. A good way to do that is being able to get a touch that just spells confidence to some degree. But Pablo, now from that left side wall from his perspective, but that's Silas to cut him off right there at midfield. That presence continues to at least amp up a little bit here for Huntington. And they've got a couple here in the box as well. Hoosiers just taking their time to try to get into this challenge, but finally Mist does a great job to beat the third man of Huntington. Luckily, it was, I believe it was Stinky Bus to get back here in rotation, but the demos continue to mount here, and Silas with that room, but it's going to be cut off immediately as Pablo will punch it out, but he's got no teammates around, so he basically just gives up possession at that point.
For all of a short moment, I was concerned that we're going to see Hoosiers overcommit upfield. Seeing Huntington be able to make that catch, they find one key demo, and suddenly that third man is gone. And you can find yourself with an open, streaking lane. But so far, the discipline has still been here for Indiana. Looking very solid against Huntington, who has been able to find one. They have a setup chance. Stinky Bus was lurking for a moment as they found the arc. No touch, actually, by Kodemeister. Ends up making one man go flying by out of the Hawks. A slapper right in the face of Pablo. 30 seconds approaching here, Baron. Hoosiers, they haven't had to get too many. Well, they've got just enough. Mist might have just put it out of reach.
Huntington had to basically press up as much as they could, so the rubber band eventually will snap back at you whenever you're putting on that much pressure and not finding some goals. So, unfortunately for Huntington, they're on the wrong side of this one. Hoosiers, though, are feeling pretty good here with 28 seconds left in their opportunity to be able to close out. So it feels like Huntington needs one here in the next 10 seconds, but unfortunately it can't do that when you're on side of the pitch, and Pablo is causing a little bit of issues. But they do have a little bit of space here, cut up by Mist there at midfield, and the pass is going to go awry right back into their zone, but punch directly back in. Pablo able to kill it around. So with 10 seconds left, should be a long shot. They definitely need this one here, though. Find the pass, not able to connect, and time should run out. It does expire. It'll be Hoosiers on top for game number 1.
Hoosiers looking very solid out the gate. This one, a team that was definitely led. I feel like everyone very composed. Everyone getting involved onto the scoreboard, and you had nearly every single one of those players chilling alongside with some of those extra passes. But I feel like the biggest thing is that we had an efficiency syndrome out of the Hoosiers. 3 for 4, 75%, 8 shots that just couldn't be able to really hit the pipeline. So this was one of those games that felt like the Hawks, they came in like, let's go, let's try and find something. A lot of demos, all cool, but they never really got themselves into that that emotional still. I'm really hoping they took this game and just said, okay, we let that one pass. Let's go to game 2.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Caveman was playing like a bot out there. So sometimes you just can't add up there. Zeros across the board, you know what I'm saying? But no, just kidding. They went for a card change. And apparently Caveman dove in there. But you make a good point here. You just have to brush it off the shoulders. It wasn't too bad of a game, right? At the end of the day, I know that I'm confident that this team can really gather it together. Those early mistakes, yes, they cost them. But at the end of the day, that's why you play the entire series. It's a best of 7. Just get yourselves regrouped. We saw them kind of, get back to it towards the tail end of that game. So game 2 should be at least a little bit better here for Huntington if they're able to clean that up.
Couple of miscues. In Division 2, you find the competition kind of ramps upwards and hits a peak especially, but then this is right before you hit that Div 1 action. So we know that these teams can execute. Just a matter of finding that mojo and finding that sense of calm, water Hashira style. And they might be able to do that exactly right here. Craig Biscuit puts one on. Silas was a big demo. They don't have the third man approaching. They waited in the wings, so they couldn't capitalize.
Yeah, and you like to see those early goals because that really sets the tone. You really want to set that pace a little bit earlier, but, obviously no harm done here. Stinky Bus will go right above Pablo with a purpose. But Mist will be allowed to just leave it for Coda. This is Pablo trying to get that extra touch as well, but strong arm from Coda. Flexing those muscles, but got demoed off of it at the end of the day. It's up to Mist to be able to challenge this one. It does a great job to do that, but a teammate's going to miss here. Luckily for them, Coda right back on it. Now he's going to try to fake low, and I like that decision to not go up top because Stinky Bus was waiting for him. But credit Stinky Bus for able to get that, for being able to get back down to get that touch.
We're seeing a lot of reactionary positions. We're seeing a lot more where, all right, what is it going to be kind of in that back third and you're on the forward third? Where do you end up? And do you go for the pop attack or do you simply kind of wait? And based on what both these teams have kind of done to one another, they've actually kind of waited for that to hit the nose of the would-be attacker, and then they find themselves out of position when the second touch comes through. So I want to see them take a step a bit faster for both sides. Hoosiers have not been able to capitalize on some of the miscues that Huntington definitely kind of defined and wrote out a bit too often in game number 1. Things have definitely settled down. That's a kind of defensive effort that both these squads might be able to push up with as we approach the end of minute number 2. Hoosiers have had this one at midfield onward, Bear, but we haven't seen them really take a shot yet.
They're waiting for the right moment here, and I guess you can do that when you have the ones early in the series. I definitely don't recommend it all the time, right? It's kind of a lost cause to keep that much offensive time and really not have anything to shield for. But that one, well, they do at the end of the day. They do get on the board, and it felt like it was a matter of time before they started to put that pressure on, and there you go.
Missed with a takeaway on the Stinky Bus. He's right over Craig Biscuit, and Silas thought there was no way that both of his teammates were not going to get that ball, and Mist just kept going with it. He's like, you know what? This ball is mine. I found it. I'm taking it home.
And another one? Yeah, that one will ramp its way up too. Dakota will definitely take that. And that's what I'm talking about when I say, hey, you get one to go, and suddenly it feels like the universe is giving you some, but it's really just you getting in the mindset, being able to find little tiny things that are going wrong from your opponents. And for Huntington, unfortunately for them, the reality is I don't think they've cleaned up much from that game number 1. So if it's going to turn around, they need to be able to do it sooner rather than later for sure.
I won't sign off on that second goal, but that one, because anyone that ever sees that kind of that kickoff shot, you're like, all right, this is going to hit post, right? And then, whoop, physics be physics. However, Huntington definitely needs to be able to come back into this game. They need to start finding some of those extra shots that were starting to at least permeate and be formed in the beginning minutes. That's a nice slap by Mist. Oh, they try for the takeaway. Finally, they're running counterclock to what was that rotation from that opposite corner.
And Pablo looked like he wanted to pop that one up, but when it didn't happen, he was eyeballing a teammate. Nothing doing here. Okay. Stinky Boss got a demo out in front, has lots of room to work with. Flip reset in hand as well, pushes it past, well, another member of the Hoosiers, but unfortunately he was off target anyways. Plus the defense of of the Hoosiers were able to kind of track that one down before any additional harm, but they're right back at it. Here's Silas, back wall, almost connected with that one. Teammate follows up, but not the touch they want. Now in transition the other way, but Coda hit it away from his teammate. I don't think any of them had a great chance at putting that on the open cage anyways, but either way, that miscommunication hurts.
Yeah, Mist was just trying to get one extra touch that was coming from the crossbar, and now you're finding them and suffering at the hands of demos. It was Craig Biscuit that started it off with a double demo about 30 seconds ago, and then the streaking line. I think that you got Silas and Stinky Bus that are getting involved. So the freshmen, if they can't get the shots, clear the way for their sophomore, the only kind of senior presence onto this Huntington College Hawks group, and so they will cut this lead in half. 90 seconds to go, and the demos are starting to line up.
Yeah. Another great touch, though. Not so much there from the Hoosiers back out to a teammate, but at least they were able to keep possession. As Seabiscuit will work their way back down. Found a teammate there as well, but unfortunately not a triple crown for the Seabiscuit like we're used to, right?
Very true.
Pablo's got an opportunity here. Lots of space to work with, and we'll make do with this one. The Hoosiers now up 3-1.
This is a spacing issue right at the back third. It's a great pickup and catch. Pablo, you have Craig Biscuit that is facing his own net by that point in time. That's going to be one of the most difficult defensive positions to have to work with. He didn't want to go into no man's land, but by the time he was making the decision to turn back, he was in the most awkward pointing. He's either going to be going to his left or right post, and both end up just being handed over to a free shot. So the Hawks, again, at this deficit point. Hoosiers looking very composed, and they're looking for a fourth goal if they can help it. They might be able to just toe it in. They're towing the line. Kodemeister wanted another one.
Yeah. Looking to punch it back. Maybe it's missed this time. Nope, that one's denied as well. Pablo's got the opportunity in Huntington. Credit them for at least keeping it close. Bailing themselves off of the goal line a couple of times. Look at this back and forth play, though, from the Hoosiers. Indiana cooking right now. With 30 seconds left, Huntington needs to find some pressure, but it has been all ball control and boost control. All systems go here for the Hoosiers.
Indiana looking primed and ready to try and just take this one by storm. We've already seen some opening series go up into a 2-0, and this one was looking no different. Hoosiers, unless they suffer here, a slap down. What an attempt by the sophomore out of Seabiscuit. Can't quite get it. So Craig will have to walk away, and this one will be the same with the clock as Kodemeister goes for a high five in the sky with his opponent. But it's the Hawks that will be down and the Hoosiers that will be flying.
And you know, if these games were just the last 2 minutes of each individual game, Huntington would be right in the series, right? But unfortunately, it's a 5-minute game at the end of the day. They need a little bit of a quicker start to these games. They do piece it together, and you see some flashes of a team that can really hang out, not only with the Hoosiers, but really any team out there. But then you see those tiny little mistakes that unfortunately add up at the end of the day. So you want to see just a few more things go right here for Huntington before you start to believe in them in this series. Again, it's just an early start, and how do you do that but to get in the comms, make sure that everything's hammered out, not just, you know, the whole minute you're talking, but be able to kind of just dial back in before you see the clock start to count down before the next game. It feels like they're kind of just like starstruck at the very beginning of the game and can't really get into settled in mode until a little bit too late.
There's nothing too super special that's occurring from the side of the Hoosiers, except for the fact that they're all getting a goal. I think that every single player has gotten one goal in both games. So they're 2-2 so far. I'm wondering who's going to break and eventually become the goal leader between those squads if they also continue their just successful runs up and down this pitch. You've seen Mist open up chances, Pablo much the same, and so far, like, no one has really had to do anything too great for it to work against the Hawks. And opposite of that, Hawks are finding themselves very reliant on getting some of those big demo, like basically a setup play, clear the board. They were sweeping the line when it was the beginning of game number 1, and I don't mind that. If you're going to make that part of your paradigm, you've just got to be able to execute. They do see Craig Biscuit as their number 1 shooter. To have to get this to work, they look like they got to key him up.
And Silas, I've seen so many times be able to set up his teammates, depending on who he was playing with back in the day. You want to be able to set up the one that can shoot, right? But you have to be able to get that pressure on first, be able to maintain a lot of the possession. That's a good way to do it. Great touches there, sets up for Silas. Great patience there as well. But by the time Stinky Bus was able to rotate around, couldn't quite find the angle to get an additional shot off there.
Great forward field run to try and tip that one over the third man, but he was in fantastic position. Mist has a man as well. That's going to drop down from the ceiling. Pablo is just going to be in lurk. Oh no, miscue here by Huntington. The Hawks continue to show flashes of issues. Craig Biscuit is going to just run this to the corner and tell both of his freshman teammates to chill out. Well, Silas comes running it down. Huntington, for the first time in what feels like this entire series, they find themselves a lead.
There's only a few instances where you want to be like right up close to your teammate in that same sector, outside of like 2v2s, of course, and that's when you see the defense kind of tripping over one another and in the same sector themselves. And so when that one was a little bit loose, Silas, no hesitation. And I like to see that as well, being bold, being confident in making that decision to step up and give Huntington this 1-0 lead. I think, this will go a long way in getting them into this one because, the first half of these games haven't been exactly great. I pointed that out. That's a great step in the right direction here if they want to get back in the series.
Imperfection can lead to perfectly executed nonsense. That's what Rocket League often is just, all right, what did we design in the last 2 seconds? Cool, let's run with that. And something that Huntington was able to do is at least take advantage of Hoosiers that were all collectively in one corner. Miss is going to find this one at midfield. He gets a flip reset to try and keep himself in the sky. A great challenge by Silas. He has no boost, so they will kiss it out here on the sideline as we end out minute number 2. Hawks trying to stay kosher and move this one forward into bluer grasses. They're certainly doing so. Hoosiers are finding it a little bit more difficult to find connections with one another. That was a wonderful pass, but Miss will be cut off.
Coda step up in his place. This one will be off the ceiling, but right by the defense. But Pablo is able to just chop at it there with a dunk. But luckily for Huntington, it was not on target here. But Hoosiers are still on this as well. Stinky Bus requiring a touch here to the corner. Was able to get a little bit of it. That shot, though, taken. Oh, it was a heavy one, but it went a little bit high there.
Gong being run twice in the last, 15 or so seconds, both times by the Hoosiers. Can they do it a third time? They will. Oh, my goodness, the follow-up. It is just Carol of the Bells. I didn't know Christmas was already here.
Present came early. Silas is looking for another one, by the way. Try to tap it down, find a teammate. Here the corner. Now it's Coda to find it, though. Right back out the center. Nobody's able to really gain possession for an extended period of time and be able to find those shots. Pablo's going to try to change that trend, but again, will be challenged there defensively. Out to midfield. Seabiscuit bumped off of it. Miss is going to set up Pablo perfectly. That shot also read, though. I mean, the youngsters are doing a great job of reading it, although it's still dangerous here for the Hoosiers. They try to punch it in, but Huntington, again, gets it out.
That was great. Silas, that was a very veteran move. Everyone was collectively getting too close and running out of boost on the Hawk side, and then he was able to just make one fat read off of that 45 and did not allow that next pass play to occur for Indiana. Miss just trying to strong-arm their way through this defense. Huntington has actually adjusted very well for being this responsive. Miss is just going all in. Every single time a bow is being thrown, Pablo has a flip reset he will not use. He will take that corner boost. And they're just forcing the Hawks to reset, but the Hawks don't mind this field trip upfield as long as they stick this 1-0 lead.
It's a pattern they've been dealing with the entirety of the series, so they go right back to it. Seemed like they're in their comfort zone and really have been able to turn around some of the chances and pressure they've felt from the Hoosiers and turn it on their heads. There's Seabiscuit, another example of that one. But again, Coda making it difficult. Miss can be up in this one. A hurry, but somehow Stinky Bus got over and made a touch. Now it's going to be about a 1-on-2 opportunity. Backwards is Coda. And although he goes through the box and out, there's no real chance here from Huntington. And look out, it's Hoosiers the other way. And they weren't able to get a touch until very late there.
Backboard defense. Where is it going to drop in? Oh, there was no man to come in through the Hoosiers. Mist turns into Mist, perhaps in a shade of red as he's turned into a demo. A drop in, and it's a shot by Pablo. Finally, they knocked down the roost of Huntington.
Pablo's been so surgical in these moments to be able to find the right angle to beat the defender rather than going top shelf, which is a very easy habit to kind of fall into. You find the place that the defender is not, which is lingering at that top shelf to bang it off the ground. That's about twice, maybe even 3 times we've seen that from Pablo. I love that creativity to equalize it here, and now Huntington's feeling a little bit nervous now that it's equal with 20 seconds left.
This is taking on the brunt of contact from out of the Hawks, forcing his way through. And the Hoosiers have responded by rallying around, but the Hawks now see themselves either having to persist for OT or to steal it late. Silas wants to stay focused. Great defense from the backboard by Kodameister. Stinky Bus will keep it up. Last-ditch effort. Oh, but it's slapped down to the hexagons. It's either going to be 3-0 or 2-1 here, Bear. The Huntington Hawks are trying to turn this into a series very, very quickly.
Demo off the kickoff as well. Great opportunity, great fake as well, but look as Misk held on to that flip until it mattered most. I love that. Great patience and really build out the Hoosiers there as Huntington had a great look early. right off the kickoff, too. Making quick work of this one. But Pablo, that's not where you want to see him if you're Huntington. He's able to challenge here Silas. Back wall, though, challenged here by Stinky Bus. It made it look easy in a difficult situation, as now Seabiscuit has plenty of room to work with that demo and a flick, but it'll find Mist on the other side. Now the Hoosiers, back and forth shot, taking it in. What a play in transition from Indiana, and they'll take this one in overtime.
Mist with the pop, Pablo with the give, and Kodameister with the secure. And all Stinky Bus can do is sit at the line and pray he can get high enough. But that one was a shelf too far. And now Hoosiers put us at another 3-0 prominence on to match point. 11 shots from out of the Hoosiers. And only the first time that they don't all three get a goal each.
That's true, because Miss was just that close to being able to get it, and they won anyways right in overtime, which is crazy. And it could have gotten really out of hand there if it were not for a Stinky Bus and those 6 saves that we saw from the other side as well. So the defense was certainly coming in handy. It looked a lot better there from Huntington, but again, it might be a little bit too late. We saw this exact same thing happen the last series, right? And in a situation where St. Edwards was able to win a game, and then they got a little bit of traction. So Huntington, I mean, I'm not counting them out quite yet, but 3-0 is 3-0 at the end of the day. And Indiana just looks that strong. I think they're more of a cohesive unit. Their passing has been much more on point. Their support on defense, you can say the same. So they've been playing the better team effort as far as the first 3 games are concerned.
I will definitely give a lot of love over to Silas in that game. You saw so much fall onto Craig Biscuit, and then Stinky Bus, I feel like he's still going through some of the freshman growth right now to try and transition from that high school scene and into now being seen on screen, on the broadcast, into the big NECC, just conference kind of view. But Silas was like, all right, Game 3, I'm going to start going fast. I can be able to assist. I can make some of these reads. This is exactly why I was recruited, why I can be able to go to this academic program and make things great. So we started to see some growth, but the Hawks have a long way to go. A reverse sweep of a best of 7 is a rarity for a reason, and it's because it's very tough to do. Hawks, just like what we saw and by St. Edwards, they need to just grab that first game.
Exactly. And I think it was like the non-selfish play, though, from Stinky Bus that really got out of the way for Silas to be able to perform. Look at that play, though. Oh! Yeah, it's almost added up there for him. And Miss is still there. Seabiscuit was like, no, I'm just going to step in front of you. There's no chance I'm going to let you easily tap that one in.
Not today. Miss has been a monster. If I was looking at anyone that really has facilitated a lot of things, Miss is just kind of a brute attempting to be a rogue. Pablo with a flip reset to try and get through 2 defenders. And missed immediately on the challenge of the boards. Craig Biscuit hoping to get it to a couple of his teammates, and we're definitely seeing the Hawks stick into these games. It's just about being able to secure it and finish them. You have one going to the ceiling, missed as well. He's got no one in front of him until this is found on the ground, but we've gone at least 1 minute. This is about the time that someone scored last time, and it was the Hawks that came up at least with that lead, but look at the challenge by Kodameister.
Yeah, up in a hurry, right, and being able to challenge that one. That's the pace, I think, that Silas was trying to match here. And, yeah, Seabiscuit has a freebie there, so Huntington will tap this one in for a much-needed free goal. That doesn't happen quite often here against the Hoosiers, so you take it when it does happen there. Just nobody back there at the end of the day.
Yeah, Mist was right in the middle of the pitch. He was actually just at the top of the respawn counter and decided to turn even when he was really far back from where that pickup was found by the Hawks. So one of those rare moments. So if you are the Hawks, this is where you find your first goal, and they held on to this level of a lead all throughout game number 3. But eventually the Hoosiers were able to take that one away from them in OT form. And we've got more than 90 seconds. You got 3 players, no goalie, and that'll turn into a 2-0.
And it required an awkward pinch there, too, because both of them were not at the best angle, so it works out, though, nicely. I guess it wasn't a pinch. Stinky was able to get just enough of it, but either way. Yeah, Hoosiers twice, they're just exposed, and you said it in the last series, it rings true this time around as well, where, you know, teams get that 3-0, and suddenly things go wrong in that next game. And right now, the Hoosiers let in some easy ones. And it started to trend that way too, but look at this pass off the back wall. He might actually get an extra touch, but wasn't able to direct it on target.
That's the training packs right there. You find that follow-up. Toughest thing to do is be able to get that last one on target. Nice demo by Kodameister as they delete Stinky Bus. You talked about Stinky Bus and basically just positioning, being a utility player, and able to get so much confidence for the Hawks to do what they needed to in the last game to stay competitive. This time around, they make sure to get rid of that foundational level of player. Meister cannot keep up. He's going to be hunting for some small pads. Both of his teammates have full tanks, though. So Huntington is trying to turn this into kind of a rout. We've reached the midway point. 2 goals, and the Hoosiers haven't exactly had many threats.
And they're getting up in a hurry, right? They seem to be reading the play well, at least in the last minute or so. They have every chance in the world to be able to get back into this game and challenge them to try to close out the series before Huntington gets anything momentum. It's not like Huntington's done anything crazy to be able to get back in the series, literally just hitting some freebies. But the Hoosiers looking to take advantage here. That's a tap back down, trying to find Miss with the give and go, but a little bit too loose on that. So it was not on target. Good fake, though. Coda try to swing that one, too. I'm not sure Miss can get up to it. They did just in time to be able to tap this over to the corner. Still on his Stinky Bus, though. That shot off the post. Follow-up is there as well, but Coda Meister with a big save to keep them in this one.
I'm glad Coda Meister was already looking up into the top of the arc to make sure that next shot was not going to go through. You have some of those errant 45s that come off of the face of the bar, and then often you kind of lose track of what's coming up next. Big bump onto the Mr. Meister. 1:30 approaching. Huntington has had a plethora of opportunities. They keep dropping this into the latter quarter, really narrowing this pitch. That's going to be a booming clear, but momentary as it is. They were hoping to connect it, I think, over to Silas from Stinky Bus, the freshman to freshman. But with 70 seconds right now, Bear, Hoosiers trying to find just one, and Huntington just hoping not to fold.
And they're taking a lot of time to try to get up to these challenges, too. I like the patience because you have the lead, but you never really want to be on your back foot or exist there for an extended period of time. So we'll see if they get back to pace. Just have to hold on for these 50 seconds to try to extend this series. Silas is up on display. Has an opportunity. He's going to go for the bumps instead. I love that. Great opportunity, but Stinky Bus wasn't able to get there in time. He was diving in from that far side box, but it's the Hoosiers who are able to get back to it as well. Miss goes low and able to swing it through and pull them back within one.
Great read, seeing them go high. Pablo on that bump follow-up after handing it over to Mist, and then just that little touch. I think that was right in the face of Silas, who was on that near side post. It's anything but done. Huntington trying to hold on. They surrendered one late in game number 3. Oh, that's a nice slapper as they don't let Coda Meister do anything with that ball.
Yeah, they've been on it, dialed in from the get-go. Knowing that it's going to be a threat here at the end of the day. Huntington cannot let up any more room, and this is a dangerous one, too. They're at midfield, trying to tap it by. And it seems like a late chip as well, but time's ticking down here. It's the Hoosiers. Stinky Bus tries to close it out and does with a quick doomsy dish. So Huntington keeping themselves in this series, it seems.
Simple as that, too. They just had to win one challenge around that midfield line, and Stinky Bus wasn't going to turn, an upward nose. That was a free opportunity to make this into a 2-goal game. So, similar feature. This one, instead of relying on an OT win, though, is simply going to go the Hawks' way. An extra consolation? Some extra style? That one will get down to the goal line instead. All right, so Alabama, the good old Huntington has shown up here as the Hoosiers don't get to have a quick 4-0.
Yeah, and they were limited with their opportunities. Meanwhile, Huntington was playing on shot after shot and certainly felt a lot better, especially when you see the assist across the board as well, right? Everybody was getting involved. We talked about how Stinky Bus was trying to be that util player and certainly thrived in it, but all 3 players were really setting each other up. That's one thing that you needed to see here. It's one thing that I called out in between games, so love to see them be able to see and recognize the same things as I was, and you have to be able to make those adjustments in real time, and there's no doubt about it that Huntington was able to. Indiana kind of looked... They didn't look incredibly lost throughout the entirety of the game, but there was certainly a few minutes where they just could not get anything together, could not find the outlet passes, and it was due to Huntington being able to read those plays just a little bit quicker than they were before, catching them by surprise.
It was definitely a microcosm of us finally seeing, maybe not an undisciplined, but definitely an ineffective version of Indiana. They definitely kind of crashed the boards. Anytime that they really need to be able to get through this defense, you see Mist just picking up a sledgehammer and going at some Hawks, just knocking the nest over and seeing if he can be disruptive. And then Pablo with some follow-ups alongside Kodemeister really navigating to keep them upfield. And a lot of that seemed absent. So we'll see if the Hoosiers show up and if another 4-1 comes in for us tonight. Remember, we do have a matchup just after this one. It's going to be a Division III match of the Battle of the Reds of Red Raiders and the Red Wolves of Texas Tech and Arkansas State. But this one can also go to the distance. We'll see how game number 5 goes.
Hoosiers want to be able to get back into that real feel that they were looking for. It could be very tough to do that whenever Seabiscuit's right on you. Craig getting to work pretty early here, and certainly Huntington exactly what you're looking for here.
That's a tough one because there's so much speed that suddenly pops. That was 75 miles an hour. That is going to be a tough one to stop, regardless if you had a read. And you had Pablo that was actually tracking it with Craig Biscuit coming up just nearby. Still, it's a great starter kit here for the Hawks. Trying to chase after Silas. Flip reset. Can't quite actually get all 4 wheels on, so he just drops. He goes actually to abuse Pablo. He's just in his face. Look at the fist fight happening in the cage.
I mean, they've been at each other's throats for quite a while now. I mean, I don't know if you remember that game 1 was like a bloodbath between these two, finding each other and be able to eliminate them. And obviously, you called out their ability to get up in their face and really disrupt the play there of the Hoosiers. So it continues here. Pablo wants to pop this one high. I don't think the defender can get to it, but neither can Koda. Was faked to miss.
Wow.
But the mist is going to break through and even the game here.
You cannot resist the mist. The mist will persist. And he just flying from right to left. Makes a nice read on a jumping ball. And we get a tied ball game in 1:08. So a bit of a breakdown spatially, especially just kind of wide end by the Hawks. And the Hoosiers get a couple of good looks, and eventually Mist just comes hurtling in. That's a bump. Oh, Seabiscuit. He had a narrow lane, and quickly that window shut.
And you know what happened was Seabiscuit, as this one should go. Oh, great save there from Stinky Bus. I take it back. But Seabiscuit, it was looking for a pass play. It was eyeballing it all the way. Didn't realize the bump was coming. That's where communication is handy. You have to be able to let your teammates know your next thought so that way they can prepare. Sure, it's one that you probably should have anyways, but if you're prepared and we're expecting to get that bump and take that shot, it goes in basically every time.
You've seen the Hoosiers attempt to just bully in. This is what was missing. We didn't have kind of that earnest effort that was really the big identity from out of the Hoosiers before. They would take over the pitch, they'd get all the boosts, and they would stand at the midline daring you to come out. Huntington hasn't been afraid to do that, but then it was Hoosiers that kind of lead them big brother, little brother style to really just dictate how the game's going to go. You have Craig in the company of all 3 Hawks over into the corner. Stinky Bus has a flip reset. Pablo will be there presently. And Craig just kind of gets knocked around from the back line, or rather from that midfield line. Silas really has nowhere he can go except lateral. He's kind of looking from end to end, side to side, seeing where he can kind of plant this into a zone and hoping one of his teammates can chase.
Yeah, it's a thought process for sure going through the head, and any kind of little space that you can create for yourselves, the better. I'm just going to leave that here in Coda again. Just going to leave it back as well. Seabiscuit allowed the chance to jump to it, Craig. In that moment, though, Pablo's going to be to it. Can Seabiscuit get back in time? Sure can. Able to battle it over to the corner. And we'll shield it over to the side to try to keep them away from it. And eventually Stinky Bus will get to that ball. And Pablo's got to go to net. Got to be careful. You saw Huntington read that and dive into the box. And luckily for the Hoosiers, that one was not touched. But they're still not out of harm's way here as they seem stuck here in this corner. Huntington looking a lot better. In fact, a couple of touches here from Silas, the stylist, able to keep them in this offensive zone. And Seabiscuit still putting on this pressure. Huntington seems relentless here at this point.
Huntington is kind of living in a weird pipe dream right now, though, because every single shot is one that really shouldn't occur unless a defensive mistake is happening. They're hoping to force the Hoosiers into a pressure cooker and seeing if they can capitalize when something like that manifests. Otherwise, the offense is just kind of lingering around right there. Stinky Bus, that is the second time in the last 25 seconds that he has done the same thing. Flip reset. Silas hoping that Seabiscuit is off of his wing. He's going to do it again, but he's going from left to right. We have made this cycle about 4 times now. Can he be able to get another? Stinky Bus, he's got Craig behind him, and he's still there hoping to fist fight with with a Hoosier. Oh my goodness, the Hawks are swarming with the entire flock.
And Mist had to use, he was the only one in that sequence. They worked him back and forth, worked their tanks. And Mist was the only one with the 100 boost and used it just enough to get a couple of touches. But it fell right back into the hands of Huntington. And they continue to press in. But now they've got to retreat here. They don't have a whole lot of great positioning members of the defense there. And Pablo had an opportunity. But now a full commit the other way, as this feels like a rubber band both ways. After that extended pressure, though, from Huntington, you wanted to see results from it. You just didn't.
He got missed right underneath Pablo. Hoosiers might be able to find something late. Huntington wants either an overtime or just simply to send it. Feels like they should have come away with something with the way they had all the Hoosiers sequestered. You have Stinky Bus landed off to the side, but at what cost? Pablo, you've got Kodameister. He's going to keep it airborne. Mist is aiming for one extra chance. Craig is just trying to find distance between him and the net. It's going to be skyward. Kodameister does not want to have this one go to blue grasses. That's going to be a pickup. Pablo to Coda to backboard. Craig is going to send it out. This one's going to be let to drop. Pablo is going to defend for all of another second. And we go to OT.
Whew, catch your breath.
Yeah.
This one's been a good one for sure. A lot of intensity. You can feel it. Even in chat, I know you can. I feel it myself, to be honest. Can Huntington stay in this series? They've been close to taking that lead, especially late in this game, but now Pablo's got lots of room to work with. Has 1v1 situation, going to bake it off the back wall, but a good read there defensively as they punch it right back out. Silas in pursuit. Now trying to get right back up to it, but Kodameister in the way. This one popped high, and Stinky Bus didn't want to go for it originally. This will leave the door a little bit open here for the Hoosiers. Even though this one's going backwards for them, it's just a back pass at the end of the day to Coda. That's going to be a good shot there as well. The follow-up is going to go. And Coda in overtime. 2-1 win here in this game. And Hoosiers will walk away with a 4-1 win in the series.
Got him on the rope and dope. As soon as that one hit the backboard, Kodameister, he was starting to streak at the top of the corner and was thinking, okay, maybe I drift away. No, he stayed with it. Near side post, all the Hawks came in from that same side, and no one expected that shot. Wow. 2-1. Hoosiers making another 4-1 on the night from our Div 1 to Div 2 matchups. And so that means there will be 1-0 in series play to start off here in Division number 2. I feel like there's a lot of growth and a lot of value that's starting to manifest from out of the Hawks, but putting yourselves into an 0-3 hole early on it's a really tough thing to have to deal with over the course of a series. But the freshmen really started to show up, especially in that game.
Yeah, they definitely did. And that's something that you see from freshmen a lot, where they're able to kind of establish that pressure. And it's like a very upbeat type of vibe that you get out of these players, where it's a high energy state of being. But sometimes you have to realize that you have to relax into that energy to be able to find some pressure instead of working the defense back and forth. That's fine. You can play that all day long, as long as you're able to remember that you got to go north and south at some point. You got to put a shot on. You got to put that pressure on and be able to challenge the defense at the end of the day, because you see it so many times where if you have extended pressure to try to take that lead and you don't get results from it from like 2 or 3 minutes, I'm talking about, of like five decent shots but not really high-end shots, it happens more often than not that the other team's able to come back and get that game-winning goal, and that's what we saw here.
Well, in case you've seen the first 2 series, you've got another one on the way. It'll be the last one of the evening. It's the Battle of the Reds, as Texas Tech Red Raiders will be taking on the Arkansas State Red Wolves. Wolfpack and Raiders will be facing off in just a little bit after this short break. More NECC Rocket League after this.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Yeah, I got to take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself, you will die.
I'll tell you what, you finish the workout, all these could be yours. That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your, no, get after it, and that's your treat. Do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You gotta give it max effort, maximum effort. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big hams. Make it work, those hams. Work 'em. Putting in the work. Yeah, baby. Yes. Dude, this is a spicy workout. Gotta make it worth it. Building the beef and bringing home the bacon, baby. I'm loving it. Teriyaki is just about within your reach. Come on, get you some. Come on. Ooh, ooh. Maximum effort. Maximum effort. You're there. You're almost there.
That's probably worth it.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days
Is a
ago.
dog been digging in there?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
The hell with that.
Oh, yeah. There's something in there. Ah!
Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Time to get up. These glasses, jacket and sweats, baby girl, that's a get up. It's chilly outside, but I'm ready to burn.
Super hot fire when I move, better feel that burn. Get up before the sun is up, baby, let's work. Good morning. Ready or not, here I come, let's work. Good morning. Get up before the sun is up, baby, let's work. Nobody stopping you today. Low key walking with a sway. Going for the distance. Drop top, hopping in the range. East Coast, baby, but I'm popping in the A. Let's go. This ATL, bro. Go get it. Trend set it. We're embedded with the avant garde. The style so synthetic. While a pioneer shine like a golden bellish. Oh, lordy. This your last warning. I've been waiting in the foyer.
You put on the gas, I'm ready to go ahead. I hate.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh, God. No. Come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is. Oh. supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. He's dead. He ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't watch it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. What do you mean you can't?
He won't let go.
What do you mean he won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there. Now just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you covered. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach, hug him up.
He's breathing.
On the other side. Go.
I can't.
Just-
I can't do it. Help!
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Yeah, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Get the stick.
Yeah,
Hey, did you get the meat stick?
yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Yeah, I gotta take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself, you will die.
I'll tell you what. You finish the workout, all these could be yours. That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your get after it, and that's your treat. Do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You gotta give it max effort, maximum effort. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big hams. Make it work, those hams. Work 'em. Putting in the work. Yeah, baby. Yes. This is a spicy workout. Make it worth it. Building the beef and bringing home the bacon, baby. I'm loving it. Teriyaki is just about within your reach. Come on, get you some. Come on. Ooh, ooh. Maximum effort. Maximum effort. You're there. You're almost there.
That's so worth it.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days
Has a
ago.
dog been digging in there?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
The hell with that.
Oh, yeah. There's something in there. Ah!
Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Time to get up. These glasses, jacket, and sweats, baby girl, that's a get up. It's chilly outside, but I'm ready to burn.
Super hot fire when I move, better feel that burn. Get up before the sun is up, baby, let's work. Good morning. Ready or not, here I come, let's work. Good morning. Get up before the sun is up, baby, let's work. Nobody stopping you today. Low-key walking with a sway. Going for the distance, drop top, hopping in the range. East Coast, baby, but I'm popping in the A, let's go. This ATL, bro, go get it, trendset it. We're embedded with the avant-garde, the style so synthetic. While I pioneer, shine like a golden bellish, oh lordy. This your last warning. I've been waiting in the foyer. You
Put on the gas, I'm ready to go ahead. I hate
Oh man, this is incredible.
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh God! No, come on, just reach. Just grab my hand. I can't hold. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is. Oh. What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. He's dead. He ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't watch it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. You just can't. What do you mean you can't?
He won't let go.
What do you mean he won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there. Now just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you covered. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach. Hug him up.
He's breathing. I think it's on the other side.
Go.
I can't.
Just-
I can't do it.
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Hey, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Hey, get the stick.
Yeah.
Hey, do you the meat stick?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
Welcome in, everyone. It's time for our third and final match of the NECC evening. Again, for the final time, I'm Hail Monkey Man in the booth alongside Bear Light, and I see a lot of Let's Go A states. There's definitely a state of mind for us to get into, as we got Arkansas State, the Red Wolves, the Wolf Pack coming in to face off against the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. Battle of the Reds. I hear, Bear Light, whoever loses this, they can no longer use red as their color. So you know what? Big things are on the line.
Yeah, 100%. And not to mention, there's going to be a lot of red. We've seen a lot of demos here tonight, but you're seeing the rosters there on your screen as well. I'll start with Arkansas State Black. This is a team I saw a lot of last season. Bixlow, Balloon, and Cardtope are going to be making out that roster. And, of course, Wild Z, Bramble, and Kobe is going to be making up the Texas Tech program Team A. I love that name.
It's a long name, and it's letting you know, hey, this is the program, this is our A team. Like it's all for the Red Raiders. And I've seen a lot of the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. They've been across several different conferences, and I feel like this team in particular, or this overall, this program has had a lot of growth. So we're gonna see if Arkansas State, first off, gets in the lobby. Second off, is gonna be finding themselves in a big challenge, because unlike the previous season, where only Div 1 and 2 did best of sevens, Div 3 has also been invited to the table with the big boys to have longer series. Yep. And I need to know, do you think we're getting yet another 3-0, opposite team wins one, and then 4-1? Do we just copy paste that result?
I don't think so. I think it goes a little bit later than that with these two teams. Just saying. But I said that last time as well, so I don't know, man. The pattern is really pungent here tonight. Same with the physicality that we've seen here tonight. But it's new teams, though. You know, at the end of the day, both teams have adopted new players to be part of their programs. You start from a fresh blank sheet of paper to some degree. So both of these teams will look to paint a canvas of a strong start here in this NECC season.
I mean, Arkansas State is apparently showing up in the chat in a huge way. So make sure you guys do cheer for your programs and for your squads to really show up. We're hoping to highlight so many separate divisions into this season. When we get back to the roots and really find all you guys out there, and the support that you give from either be it from varsity, student clubs, whichever it is exactly the kind of love and the kind of energy that we want to witness. Cool thing about these squads. Let's talk about A State, since apparently everyone loves them so much. Bixlow collects fortune cookie slips. Do you think that he just keeps all of the fortunes and just releases them and just kind of has the craziest future ever? Is that what happens with those collections?
You know, I thought it was weird because it's if you get a bad one, do you really want to hang on to it? Or I guess it kind of spells trouble. It kind of predicts your future so you can look out for it. But I would just be passing them out like Andy, right? Just I don't like you. You're cool. You're cool. You know what I'm saying? But hey, listen, you collect them for your good luck. I wonder what's on his slip for tonight's matchup as well. Makes you wonder.
True. And then Cardtope, they apparently love astronomy. So lots of futures, looking for maybe stuff amongst the stars and seeing where new futures come from all that. And of course, Balloon is just left-handed. That's what they decided was the fun fact. So riveting things from the side of Arkansas State, the Red Wolves. Let's see if the Wolfpack comes in big. I know all you are out there, so howl for them. Let's get into game number one.
Let's hit it. Texas Tech and Arkansas State, obviously big names, from that traditional sports lens, and have been established as actual school programs for an extended period of time. But as far as their esports programs go, let's see who has the edge here. Yeah, Balloon does really tie into that same theme because, the Balloon can honestly float up and see if they can't be amongst the stars themselves. And I think we saw a little bit of that last semester as well, as Balloon played extremely well. This is an opportunity for him right off the bat, but unfortunately for him, it was off the crossbar, but a teammate will clean up. It'll be Cardtope to put Arkansas State up first.
That will be A State up early. Oh, a bit of a miscue there. An awkward read for Kobe Didja, trying to get up underneath that ball as it was slow strobing in. I think they were trying to get ahead. Too much thought process of the forward-coming striker. So then that just left it open and free for Cardtope. So good looks by Arkansas State, not letting an opportunity go by without trying to profit.
A lot of support here in chat for sure. Perhaps bleeding through for these players who are obviously with them, in chat cheering themselves on for a minute. Can't say anything like confidence, being able to cheer yourself on, give yourself a little bit of love there in chat. So we'll see what happens here. This one will fall back to Balloon. Cardtope tried to stay up on that play to get that 50-50 there up high, but wasn't able to continue that play. Wild Z looking for a teammate there. Was eyeballing Oh, Bramble on the side wall with that demo as well. A couple of demos should free up some space. Luckily, though, for Arkansas State, it was Cartop that was able to punch it out.
Texas Tech has very briefly seen the other side of the pitch. So far, it has been a lot of pressure from out of the Red Wolves as they again put it over this midfield line. Another big find right here by Kobe. Bramble not with a lot of boost, so they're having to aim for stealing some of those corners away from Arkansas State. They do so. Double commit. Bramble's going to let this one strobe over to his own corner side. He does not get his boost, but he had just enough in the tank. A nice pickup as you're looking at Texas Tech trying to slow this game down, and Arkansas State is just not letting them do so. Wild Z very swiftly running up, and Kobe's car length too short. They might be able to find this one from distance. Cartop does so as they have their second goal of the game.
This is a matter of seeing when they're challenging and be able to time that right. Because Kobe is up there to challenge. He went all the way up to the ceiling to be able to bounce that one back towards the net. You would like to see a presence there from Texas Tech, but, you know, whenever you see a gap like that, you want to see Arkansas State fill it, and that's what they're able to do. And, yeah, it seems like they've been setting the pace, and Texas Tech has not been able to quite answer or fulfill any of that speed that's necessary to keep up with a team like this.
Kind of feels like a team that came in a bit mute, a bit kind of sub-energy here into this first game. We've seen that before. And usually those teams end up kind of being the same thing. Kobe is waiting it out. He's got a teammate just off to his right side. This should be a hot shot. It will be. Double commit. But falls out to where the next forthcoming defender is trying to extend this pitch now, and they do so. So Texas Tech still not on the board as the Red Raiders might be able to find a chance here. Bramble going for it a 50-50. Right on top of Cartop, who's both of the goals for A-State. Beyond the midway mark of game number 1, Texas Tech finally in a prime position. But Arkansas is able to just walk their way out.
Yeah, it seems like there's no pressure on them constantly. They're just, you know, able to catch and run. And when Texas Tech has been able to find passes, they've been easily detectable. They've been telegraphing their passes in these moments. Here's another example of that, but Bramble did a great job. 1, 2, 3, right on cue. Able to prove me wrong there with a little bit of a tic-tac-toe action.
Okay, Wild Z to Bramble. Bramble right back around, and Kobe's just like, you know what? Let's bonk this one off the hood. And a power shot that had to get underneath a downward diving defender. So finally a blemish into that perfect donut. Arkansas State will see their lead cut in half. So Texas Tech finally walking away with something. They're trying to do even more than that. They will do so. No,
wow.
Big defense on a Bixlow.
Bixlow came out of left field. I had no idea that they were even capable of being able to get back to that one. The speed shines through. Arkansas State has shown that. Now trying to strong arm. Went to the gym there for that last one, but wasn't able to quite sneak it in. Now Wild Z in transition. Had a teammate there, but again detected by Arkansas State. Cartop got to it a little bit late. But by the time Kobe put it right back on, Arkansas State had rotated around. They've got full boost in their tanks as well, but they're still having trouble getting past the halfway mark of this field. But finally, Wild Z dives right back on it. Bixlow kind of juggling with the Arkansas State defense, who hasn't been able to really organize much. So they're just going to clear it out and try for a bump here to relieve a little bit of that pressure.
Good reactions right now out of Texas Tech to not let Arkansas State continue to just dominate in terms of total possession, but it's still been very limited as to what the Red Raiders are able to get. That was a great extension of the pitch. That's going to count as a shot by Kobe. That one goes sky high, comes down. Kobe also looking for some boost to fill up his tank. He can't steal it away from Cartop, who has been omnipresent on this pitch. Dangerous-ish on this near side. Wild Z hoping to set someone up in the form of Bramble, who has been putting up some threats. 20 seconds to go here, Baron. Arkansas State just needs to survive. That's a big task, but that ask might be answered here.
Again, it's just they seem to find the passing lanes and they're a step ahead, and just feels like every single moment. Credit Arkansas State. They've looked incredibly strong. Giving their fans here in chat something to certainly liven up about. This has been a fantastic start from them. Again, Texas Tech needed to be able to press towards that box, but when they did, a pass interception there, and it wasn't like it was a very easy one too. That one was pretty high skyward, but Arkansas State with the pre-jump were able to get it to go here. That being said, Texas Tech will pull it back within 6 seconds left here. Time for a kickoff goal draw play here.
This is right around that average, so it is doable, especially with the way they just scored in a moment's notice. You got to be very defensive. Arkansas State's probably going to try and shut this one down. Leave back a defender, see if they can be able to double it up. They have a delay. They're going to try and keep this one kosher. Bramble, oh, he ends up helping it out. Balloon will make him suffer. That will put this game away.
Texas Tech made him sweat just a little bit, and they said no. Nothing has really kind of deterred them from being who they are as a team. And the kickoff goal that we were expecting Texas Tech to go after was what Arkansas State was able to capitalize on. They'll take game one, and feeling good about it as well. And all three members certainly playing well, but Bix played extremely well in my eyes. I thought he was a big part of this win, even though Cardtop will be credited with that MVP. So, again, you want to see that from your team, a full balanced breakfast, if you will, across the board here.
3 epic saves from out of Bixlow. 6 shots in total from the Wolfpack. The Red Wolves looking really good when it was 11 from out of Texas Tech. So much of that came in that latter 2-minute portion from game number 1. And it feels like Arkansas State definitely was just kind of receiving a lot of what the Red Raiders were sending at them. One big counterplay turned all of that flat, though. 1 goal got it into, within distance, but ultimately the Wolves did not bend.
Absolutely. Texas Tech, what do you have to do? You need to be able to, at this point in time, you have to be able to utilize Arkansas State's ability to use their intuition and try to jump into passing lanes against them. So that means hold on to the ball a little bit longer than you're used to instead of passing it off. You can get back to that passing a little bit later on, but you have to change up your look in the meantime. Find those solo plays, be a little bit more patient, and let Arkansas State commit to those. Because if they think they can read it and you're able to change that pace, then you start creating those 3-on-2 chances, 2-on-1 chances that'll favor you in those moments. We just didn't see enough of that from Texas Tech, and there's an easy solution to at least create a little bit more of those chances.
It definitely felt like they were slow off the blocks. There's got to be more energy. There's got to be more fight. There's got to be a more midfield contentious presence by the Raiders if they truly want to be able to bring this one against the Red Wolves. Because otherwise, Arkansas State is resolute in bringing the fight to them. They already are trying to do so. Bixlow with a set chance as they bring it to one of their teammates. And Balloon, who I believe began everything to set up over to Cardtop, he'll rotate in early, and he made sure to finish that one off by finding just a punch in the mouth against some Texas Tech defenders, but they're actually upfield.
And they were ready for it, too. Cardtop is up on the play. Kobe Didja had that quick challenge, but again, just a quick play there from Arkansas State to battle into it. Bramble on the goal line could not hold strong. I don't know who punched that in, Monkey, but Bixlow will be credited with it.
Pinball. Hold on. That comes out. Goes back down. Wow. Are you kidding me? Bixlow's like, cool. That was that follow-up. I will follow the follow-up. And Arkansas State is up early.
Yeah, you take those for sure. Texas Tech, just when you saw them kind of play a little bit more patiently, doing exactly what they needed to do. And Arkansas State, a little bit of ball luck. And sometimes that's just the way it goes. Whenever your team's feeling, you're vibing, sometimes things will just kind of fall that way. You take it in the moments and you roll with it. Arkansas State have played a lot of time in their defensive zone, so they're not really, it doesn't look like they have a panic attitude either when they get back here. So, some would call it a bit of a danger zone to be in constantly, but there you go. They're able to strike through. It's Kobe, did you see it coming? It's a 1-1 game.
Great placement shot here. You saw Balloon try to go into the leap. He knew that Kobe was going to go for kind of a midline shot. Maybe something from right where he jumped from, but you just have to take that chance. You have to cut the distance to him. But by the time he was up there, it was a better connection by Kobe Didja to just cut it in. So, Texas Tech, they're starting to really push Arkansas State back. Remember, it was 11 shots to 6 in game number 1, just nearly doubling up their offensive output. Wasn't in the goals, but it was in the pressure, and they might be able to do it here. They're looking for their first lead.
That's a big momentum shifter if you're able to get to it. Getting some bumps out in front, too, to try to create space, but maybe came a little bit too early. Bramble did not have possession at that point in time, so you're really just kind of killing time upfield. So they did rotate back at the end of the day. We'll see if they can get back into a rotation, which will allow them to get back into the offensive zone. As Bixlow will now allow that challenge for Balloon to get up to this one too, and wants to be able to challenge into this corner, but all 3 members of Texas Tech are bunched up here. Would have been great for Arkansas State to be able to have that chance to push forward, but Bramble's on it already, and he'll be the one to just launch it into the Arkansas State zone. It goes back and forth as we play pinball with 2:42 left, even at 1.
This style of clearance plays so much favor to Arkansas State in the way they want to play because they want to frustrate Texas Tech and their inability to be upfield for too long. But once you start getting some of the demos that the Red Raiders are starting to key up, it really shifts the entire dynamic and the identity of this game. Wild Z goes streaking by Kartope. Remember, responsible for at least 2 of those 3 goals that we got to see in that previous matchup with these guys. Arkansas State, everything has been a bit foggy, a bit unclear. Might need to go and get at least a couple of those fortune cookie slips and see what's coming up next. That's a massive demo. Balloon fake out. He's got one last man to beat, but Bramble will cut the distance.
Yeah, Bramble was reading that all the way. And sometimes it's a little bit more difficult, especially when you have space between you and that attacker who's looking to throw those head fakes. But they did a good job to stay patient, be able to fight that one off. And now a direction towards the front of the net, but Kobe maybe played it a little bit too hot. They still have a little bit of that position that makes Arkansas State sweat a little bit, and that's why it's right here in the middle. Wild Z could not turn in time. This one will find its way over to Bramble, though. And by the time they turn, it's a little bit too slow. Both of these teams are a little bit anxious, not getting onto balls as quickly as you'd like to see them do that. And they're giving away possession a lot. No team that's really found passing. I think the team that really figures that out is going to have a lot of more success here. Even in Texas Tech's case, where I had mentioned that solo plays are going to come in handy, and maybe here's one right now. Bramble off the top wall, right off the ceiling, but wasn't able to quite get that one to go down.
Very much agree that if we get any kind of level of just consistency for those connections between players, it's going to be way different because the game plan right now is letting Bramble off the leash. You see him going for shots. You see him going for the demos. He is definitely finding himself on the forward half of this pitch for the entire, majority of this game. And Arkansas State is just aiming to respond and see if they can win one challenge against them. Kartope going to slow this one down. This will be in. Big save, though, by Wild Z. Going to try and bring it back. Vic Slow was a huge MVP in the previous game. Can they do it again? Bramble will find another one. He's going to have to tell Wild Z to go and get it. He doesn't have any extra boosts. Red Raiders will be upfield again.
And you're right. Arkansas State is diving at some of these opportunities. They find themselves upfield, but just in between where they can't challenge. And Texas Tech has been doing a great job of filling out when is it necessary to be able to launch the ball versus keep it close to home. But they let their guard down, and Big Slow is going to take advantage of it. Arkansas State up 2-1 with 6 seconds left.
Immediately saw this jump right here. Bramble goes flying by, misreads the angle, and he decides to leave his station from that back corner, deciding that his teammate can be able to handle it, but what a slam down by the Wolves. So Red Wolves out of Arkansas State, they're going to just try and burn some time, but they hand it off. Wild Z, he's got boost. He might be able to get a dunk. He leaves it for a teammate. Bramble's there. Can they keep this one aloft? It's going the wrong way. Texas Tech, we'll see this one slip on by. Good old A-State. They're up 2-0.
Yeah, and they punch back very quickly, too, in a situation where Texas Tech really had a little bit of traction there. So you wanted to be able to silence them in that moment, and that's exactly what you got. Big Slow with a couple of goals here off of 4 shots. Nicely done to be able to put this one away. Texas Tech with 5 saves, but the defense was not enough to hold on to this one, Monkey Man. Again, you can play defense for an extended period of time, but Arkansas State looked a little bit unorganized. Texas Tech just didn't have a solution to be able to put it away.
What's interesting, too, is that there was a lot of possession, or at least a lot of challenge lean by Texas Tech, but they only came away with 3 shots that entire game. I think at least double, if not more than that, out of Arkansas State in that previous game. So when they were able to run upfield, they had threats. Whereas we got a lot of Bramble kind of running the walls, seeing if he can move around the boards and just kind of force all of Arkansas to maybe flinch. That's not gonna pan out. They will stay cool. They'll be able to rotate, even if they get demoed. They're gonna have someone fill the gap. A couple times they did take advantage of that. And this has to be more than a one-horse race. We've seen it work from the Raiders. Will we have another 3-0 positioning? We've done that already twice through Div 1 and Div number 2. And Arkansas State would love to make it again as we go into game number 3. People got to show up. So far, it's been the Red Wolves that have.
And it's trending that way for sure. I think that it's certainly I predicted to happen. I think Arkansas State's been a much better consistently, and that's one thing that we brought up, but more importantly, giving them different looks as well. We brought it up with Texas Tech just in between the last couple of games, but it is very important because it shows confidence. The head fakes that we're seeing, a little bit of fake action happening to throw off the other team. I feel like that's only come out of the Arkansas State camp. Texas Tech has had pressure, but to your point, wasn't able to put anything on target. So, if you're Texas Tech, you want to be able to find some of that confidence. Maybe it comes here. That's a good way to start here as well as he puts them on the board.
There goes the senior, able to get the Raiders in front for the first time in this. And Kobe Didja, I mean, they apparently love to play volleyball. That was a heck of a set, especially as it careens from the sidewall. And Wild Z sold out to make sure that that effort would not go unused. So, Raiders will be up.
First lead of the series, I believe. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Great for them to get a good start here for games when it hasn't quite been that way. Almost tripped over each other there. Wowsy was able to avoid his teammate to get back up and make that save. Bramble cuts the pitch in half there. Arkansas State wasn't expecting that, so they'll have to kind of regroup a little bit. But the only way they did that was by just giving away possession to Texas Tech. Bramble having to stay down here. Had 70 boosts in the tank and will use it now to try to go up at midfield. Bixlow, this is a good setup. Doesn't have much boost in the tank, but was able to bump away the last member of Texas Tech. But they handled it well, too. Good patience here from the Red Raiders. This one will find its way to the right wall. Bixlow looking to set something up to the ceiling, but Bramble is good for it. An extra touch from Bixlow will extend some pressure here for Arkansas State.
Kind of in a typical sphere right now where we end up with that first goal and it takes a while to kind of grind it out. We did have a tying goal in opposite from Arkansas State scoring first in game number 2 and then by the Raiders in that same fashion. This is a bowling ball. They can't get to the outside right, and I believe that was Wild Z that was screaming by. Didn't want to give a connection to the Wolves to maybe find and move right back upfield with. Bramble doesn't have any extra boosts. It's a lobbing set. That went over to Kobe Didja. Wild Z will be back line. He'll take an early turn. You got to be ready for the fastball. Cartope puts us at 1 each.
I like the fact that it was perfectly placed and then had that zip, because we've seen a couple of times in this series, these teams are well versed enough to be able to get across and make that type of save. So you had to be able to hit that with a next level velocity. They were able to do that. So love to see that here as they equalize for Texas Tech. That lead that you're able to establish and finally find disappears a little bit more quickly than you're comfortable with.
Ceiling pinch attempt. That one kind of goes upwards on trajectory, and you're definitely seeing the test against Texas Tech, who has finally gotten faster. I feel like that one was kind of a missing variable there in the beginning of game number 1. Some of that just kind of completely just staved off. Now we got Arkansas State getting a lot quicker with it in this point in time, and Cartope, I mean, he was responsible for several goals now over the course of this game. Halfway through, and Texas Tech is now meeting him at the door.
Arkansas State collected this boost, and that's where Balloon's going to use it. Perfectly placed shot there. Arkansas State, back-to-back goals. They've got the lead again.
Or Wild Z, he just wanted to stop the initial man from making that touch. Now is in Cartope, so Balloon is all freewheeling to get up to that ball as it lobs in front of the defensive net of Texas Tech. So, bit of a mental blunder, just hoping to respond and take an opportunity away, but you set up another one. That doesn't mean that Bramble isn't there. He's trying to aim for the backside post. Cartope will stop them. Wild Z with yet another, but look who is just there. Right in front of him is Bixlow.
Been all over the pitch, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Bixlow has been very, very methodical with his challenges when they happen, and that's another prime example. Wild Z's going to find Bramble. That's a shot as well. What a setup. Texas Tech needed an answer, and they got one.
All guns up. Wild Z crossing it over. Bramble's going to be there every single time, and you got to be ready for the fastball. He just said the done. 77 miles an hour. All right. So both these teams, they were very tight-knit. And the importance, again, of this game number 3 continues to be ever-present between all of our series tonight. As 2-2, it's either going to be 3-0 or 2-1. Texas Tech does not want it to be the former.
Have to be able to close out in this one. We've said it so many times tonight. It rings more true than ever. Wild Z up again. And an opportunity to chop it back down. I think it's a couple times that he's been up for that challenge, but couldn't quite find it. But I love the way that he's confident to be able to go up and try and attempt that one. You'd like to see him to finish. Here's Wild Z. A lot of space given up by Arkansas State, but just wasn't quite able to find that empty space he needed to.
Bixlow is always there when they need him to make a stop. That dude is just a wall. Balloon trying to fist fight as he exits. Bixlow has to be ready for the next pounce, but no one actually was present to try and do so from out of the Red Raiders. Texas Tech will retreat as the flex and flow and the ebb and ease of this game begins to speed up and then quite quickly slow down. Bramble trying to take advantage of a drop off the wall. Wild Z wants to interrupt. He's actually gonna be able to get another touch. This is a shot opportunity. Bramble's gonna be there. Half minute approaching. Arkansas State marches out.
That felt like a full commit there from Texas Tech. Got to be careful. Remember, it's a tie game here at this point. Oh, Bramble does just enough, but Carto making it difficult. Extra touch, 20 seconds left. Here's Wild Z with a little bit of room to work with. Tried the musty, wasn't able to connect with it, and now you leave it to Arkansas State. Good punch back in here from Kobe, did ya? And to the back wall they'll go. 10 seconds left. This one banked off the back corner. Tried to get a little bit of momentum. Not able to do so. Left open. Shot taken. Just fought off by Kobe Didja. This one's not down to the ground yet, though. It'll be up in the air for Bramble. Wanted to play it back down to its teammate, but Cardsoap instead is going to be available for it. And Balloon tries to play it to corner, but this one should find the ground. And wisely, they let it hit for Texas Tech. And we play into overtime.
Stars in his eyes, making that save, making sure that doesn't go sideways against them. It's going to be overtime. We've had 2 3-0s. Will it be a third in a row to force a match point and reverse sweeps necessary? We've seen a couple of games be picked up at times, but it's otherwise gone sideways for the team that always goes down into that deficit. A big challenge onto the face of Bixlow as Wild Z wants to keep this one from across the midpoint. We've got 30 seconds here in OT.
And Wild Z was wanting to change places with the rotation because Bramble was carrying that one up, but had to go all the way up to the wall in order to get there. And no shot taken again from that sequence. That's too many times I've seen Texas Tech be able to transition it down the field, but not be able to take a shot from it. So let's see if they can clean that up. A Balloon now finding on the left side there, but no teammate available. By the time the shot's taken, it's from a not the best angle there from Arkansas State. So Bixlow's doing a challenge, though. Has him in a difficult spot. You saw him eyeball and the teammate across the pitch as well, but couldn't quite deliver on that shot.
It was just off in his peripheral. Someone might have been there. Kobe's going to wait into the back of the box. He's going to be there much earlier. This is going to be a breakaway. Texas Tech has a chance to be able to get this from the sidewall. Oh, no read there. Bramble has no boost, so they can't really make much of that one. It's a weird possession right now out of Arkansas State. It ends up finding just fine. Balloon with a freebie, snipes it in, bouncing through. Arkansas State for the third time tonight. We got a 3-0.
Yeah, the trend continues, and you have to credit Carto for setting that up in the first place, being able to go up and get that challenge and just bank it off the ceiling. And before you know it, it's match point after an overtime winner. Arkansas State's been able to win the more separated games. I wouldn't call them blowouts by any means in the first couple because they have been close games, but Arkansas State's also able to step up in these clutch moments, all led by Balloon again this time for the 2 goals. But Bixlow did a whole lot for the scorecard being that low for him. I thought he was an excellent contributor, not only in this game, but the previous 2.
Bixlow has been very utilitarian. Being able to just be where his teammates kind of need him is not going to be the flashiest, but when he comes out, things get awesome. And so far, Arkansas State has been able to profit from that. They might be also to be the first team tonight to possibly sweep. Everyone's been primed for it, and it's been one of those opening weeks where some teams have been a bit flat. Everything's been a little bit 50-50. We've had plenty of overtime, so the competition is here. But right now, Texas Tech, they just couldn't formulaically get around the Red Wolves, who seem to have an answer. There have been mighty moments, though, out of the Raiders when they look dangerous. If they can string that together in a succession of success, they might be able to upset the Wolves at least into maybe some future games. But this game 4, they've just got to start surviving right here, right now.
You know, it's going to be crazy for me to say this, especially after an overtime, but I don't see that happening because the Wolves have been so great at being able to close out. And as good as Texas Tech has played, and there hasn't been a whole lot of mistakes from Texas Tech, it just seems like the Wolves have had those answers. But you're right. It's not like there's a certain point in the game that they need to work on. It's not like they start games late. They had the first goal of that game, right? We talk about them playing late into games. Well, they look pretty strong there too, holding off Arkansas State until it hit overtime. And then that's when, they found an answer. And this one might be a freebie as well. So again, like I mentioned, Texas Tech finding early goals.
They're able to find one just off of a chaotic rotation. They get at least a player to jump Bixlow, a rare moment where you can't find a connection defensively. And finally, the raid of the Raiders comes out with profits on the other side.
Want to see more of that for sure. Can't just cling on to a 1-goal lead. We know that that can be disastrous. They want to change that idea now. They almost had another one on the board pretty quickly. Kobe Ditcha is in control. Going backwards to try to find a teammate. I like that back pass. Trying to find it past the last defender. Got a bump there as well. They're not shy for using that physicality. And it certainly shows. But unfortunately, Texas Tech, again, they're heading the wrong direction. Look at that foot. What a shave from Kobe. Somehow got up in time using that speed. Great flick. Even better save.
Kobe coming out from the most ridiculous shoveling angle to stop what was otherwise a go-ahead goal to try and tie up this game. Give him credit. That defense definitely found a moment. So did the post. He's got to be able to read this. What a hop, skip, and jump. Unfortunately, they cannot finish their self-serve. So Arkansas State has had 2 moments flash in the pan right in front of them. But only their hands have gotten burned. And to steal that corner boost away from the Raiders, Texas Tech, they're going to go patrolling and see what Arkansas State's going to set up.
Carta was trying to find a teammate, but nobody was in support, and Baloo didn't have any boost either. It looked like a giveaway, and it was, quite frankly, Monkey Man, but you kind of expect your team to be there, so communication has to be on point. It just wasn't.
I think I saw Wild Z sitting on top of a player for all of a moment. I think that was on top of Big Slow, maybe. They were the defender behind the first man, and then off of the attempt of the adjustment, they can't get it on the first jump. So, all right, Texas Tech with their largest lead tonight. They've had ones before, but now a 2-0 as they get a bit feisty. They get a bit physical, forcing Arkansas State to have to do a double take. But the challenges have been here. Balloon, they will pop up.
Yeah, they were not very happy. They got popped in the last sequence there, so they got right back to it, stood in their way, and they didn't even have a great angle, honestly. They just wanted to be able to stand in the way to direct it back on target. If it goes in, great, and sure enough, that's exactly what they were able to manage. But off this kickoff, we'll leave it into the hands of Texas Tech. Good quick utilization of that flip reset as well from Wild Z to be able to put that one on target. And Texas Tech still back to a great jump to get up in a hurry. But the shot's just a little bit high up from Wild Z.
You need to just be a tiny degree higher up on that ball. Look at the 1-2 that we're attempting right now from out of Red Wolves. Free bouncing ball. His Balloon at least kind of lurks at the top of the defensive box. There's a lot of lob shots. That's a dangerous one. It bar downs Cartope. Well, I guess he did the math. He finds himself into a tight ball game.
You know, what's funny is, the chat was talking about how it's going to be Cartope's chance for a legacy game here, and it's starting to manifest itself little by little. Texas Tech, that's the opposite of what you want. You had a 2-goal lead, establish it finally. You get a one that's relatively comfortable, but there's no worse lead to have than a 2-0. I feel like it disappears so quickly, especially when you're going up against Arkansas State. Had a chance to gain back that lead, though. Here's Bramble to try to make that happen, too. Have members here, but it's been that story the entire time. They just haven't been able to put anything on target, Monkey.
It's been tough, too, because Arkansas has been very good about getting kind of man-to-man as much as they can. There's not a lot of boost right now for this dropout. You're going to be relying on Cartope to try and get back to it, and Bramble is here to punish all of that and more. This is not a player that you want to let off the leash. That was a great find at midfield, and Bramble was left with an open opportunity.
Yeah, Kobe Ditcha got up really quickly, and the way that they were able to direct it back on without any hesitation was great. Knowing that there was nobody on the back wall meant that you didn't have to direct it on target, so you didn't have to propel your car and just kind of guess and give away your integrity as far as the angle you wanted to hit that at. And was able to find a teammate for it, and Bramble was able to finish up. Great methodical play here from Texas Tech to be able to answer back. And there's those fakes I was talking about. Be able to switch up that pace. Texas Tech is finally bringing it to Arkansas State.
Something magical has been in the back pocket, but they got to make sure that it doesn't stay there forever. Otherwise, magic is just magic until it's let loose. Bramble's going to try and get an extra touch. Does so. Drops it over to an opponent in Big Slow as his teammate's hoping to find a way to kind of navigate what his teammate is doing. And Cartope is just going to force the issue. He will start and he will finish right at that goal line.
Legacy. Just ready for it right there, top of the box. Bramble was able to flip, and it looked for a second they could have had that one too, but unfortunately the flip not enough to be able to deflect it out. In fact, it deflected it right back into the net. And now Arkansas State, everything that Texas Tech seems to throw at them, they've found an answer for.
And they continue to find answers. Solutions will be a difficult premium to maintain as this one ramps up into the final seconds. A minute now here in game number 4. Arkansas State would love to start the season with a 4-0. Those become big tiebreaker moments. And also a great galvanizing way to start off your season. Balloon, he's got one in the wing. He's actually got both of his buddies with full boost. Balloon will be able to split the difference between them. He's going to try and catch us off the nose. Hand off over to Kartope, who has been magical. Everyone asked for an absolute performance. He has been delivering. Kobe outside of his own box. Now with Texas Tech under fire, they aim to get an escape line.
Oh, and if Bramble had boost here, it would have made it very difficult for the youngster of Kartope to try to jump back onto that challenge. But not quite there. Now an opportunity. They're trying to direct it back. You saw Bramble, but Bramble can only do so much from that position. Even the 100 boost wouldn't have helped. Now that shot a little bit closer than I imagined it would be. They're still holding on to it. Great demo here. Now a quick turn from Arkansas State. They have a chance to close out, but Bramble stands in their way. Ran out of boost, though. Kartope almost got that extra touch. Down to 4 seconds left. Otherwise, we see an overtime yet again. This one's still up in the air. You want to be able to kill it, but that's going to keep it alive. Bramble's got a chance to tap back down. Now a 1-2 punch, but Balloon will stand in the way. This one's still up. Opportunity, but Wild Z that close, but no cigar. We hit overtime here in game number 4.
Tobacco-free campus in that way. They will make sure to get excited going into overtime. Texas Tech needs a game. Need to find something to find a spark to begin week number 1, match 1 of your NECC season. Arkansas State, they've got a lot of leniency. Wild Z gets a demo. That's a free back line, and they will finish it off. We go game number 5 for the 3rd time tonight. A good find with that demo. A wonderful way to end OT.
The pattern continues, and yeah, well, I'm not sure where Arkansas State's defense went there. They certainly haven't left it that wide open all the time, but yeah, we've had quite the night here of patterns repeating themselves. Unfortunately for Texas Tech, that means that they might go home after this one, but they did enough to keep themselves alive, Monkey, and one step at a time is what I'm all about.
You know what? The only way that we break this pattern, you got to get to game 6. Maybe. Just get there. But Arkansas State, it was a lot of respond and find to see what you could be able to kind of get with. And it took 4 goals, obviously, for Texas Tech to get beyond them and at least continue out the series. But each one of those goals had such an individual uniqueness to it that wasn't just a direct challenging shot. I think a lot of them required a bump, required a demo, something to create a non-standard rotation from out of the Wolves and force Arkansas State into a split-second reaction. That last one in overtime, they were able to get it from an extended rotation from out of that midfield. And when they were finding kind of a counter rotate into that back corner, that's when they got the demo on the only third man. There was no one else present, especially because that clear just put them out of reach.
Yeah, again, it's just being able to switch up that looks, not only just on the offensive side, but the defensive side as well. And that was the right moment to be able to strike and step up into that one. And that doesn't feel easy, not in overtime, when you have to kind of put yourself out there and take that risk, especially when the entire series is on the line, but it's do it or otherwise go home. That's the kind of the fallacy about that way of thinking. You have to be able to take those risks. Otherwise, you've seen yourself in this series not be able to close out games. You love to see them keep it alive, but for how much longer as we head into game number 5.
Can Texas Tech be able to fight against tonight's history of all 4 ones? Are they inevitably doomed to fall and fail? Can they perhaps extend things out and make our producer shake a fist at the sky? Arkansas State under fire. Another one forthcoming. This will be a lob shot. Kobe, did you? No, he didn't.
Not quite. Not yet, at least. Definitely set up again for a great chance and opportunity. The shot taken, that was actually Wild Z, who hopped in an instant, flashed in there, right? Into the box, but wasn't able to connect. Big Slow now challenged 2. It's, I want to call it a 50-50, but it's really a 50-25-25, I guess, when you have 2 people from the other team that's challenging in there.
Sharing,
Sharing scaring at the end of the day.
Oh.
Wow. What a sequence. Another shot taken as well, and now they're going to go wide with that one too. Texas Tech had a multitude of different options, but that original save was great from Arkansas State.
Bananas. Oh, that's going to be a great find as well by Wiles to get rid of Big Slow, denying the third man a shot opportunity. Texas Tech hit everything except the back of the net on that previous sequence. Everything was under fire. And it's looking like Arkansas State's going to have a chance to kind of mirror those moments in just a chance of developing right in real time. And a nice undercut by Bramble. Definitely a very mechanical player from what we've seen so far for their offensive flex. And Arkansas State has been able to shut them down by simply narrowing the gap.
It's always so important. Oh, that's a miss, Q. Bramble's going to be dimmed off of it as well. Arkansas State's trying to get into the demo love that Texas Tech has showed them for the past few games. But will it free any room? That one's off the hood of his car. I don't think he meant to do that. Kobe let it get a little bit far ahead of him. But luckily, he had some teammates to bail him out. Carts are going to have to back off of this one, too. Had a challenging teammate, but they weren't able to get to it. So the youngster back off the back wall. And Kobe leaves it for a teammate of a moment. I like how both teams are really looking to set each other up in these moments. That's a great shot as well, but Balloon will step over to make that save, too. Still not out of harm's way. The pass to Kobe, but a big save from Carzo.
They had to read that third dude flying in. Kartope able to find just the mark that they were going to bounce because we were following right in with that POV and thinking that that one was done. But no, sneakily staying defensively minded and reading the field for what it is, even if it narrows against you. And Texas Tech seems like they've had the multitude, the majority of this collection onto more wolf tread grasses out here. With 2 minutes to go, Arkansas State, it's been all counterplay. Texas Tech has really been guiding this game. If they walk away with this one, it will just simply being able to outlast the Raiders.
That's what you feel like they only have to do at this point. Texas Tech, they put together a nice game. And a nice pass there as well will beat them. So hold that thought. Texas Tech able to find the 1-2 punch right there at the top of the box.
Look at this back pass. Trapped by Wild Z, he skims it back, and Kartope's like, where are you going? And then it's a slap by Bramble. All right, finally, the last 100 seconds marked with a 1 to finally break open what was a long-form iceberg. Wild Z might see this one also go to a teammate. What a defensive effort by Balloon to get rid of Bramble just underneath them, but Arkansas State cannot continue to just be defensive.
Right, now Bramble's looking to steal some boost as well, so it's making it more difficult for Arkansas State. Now it's not just demos, it's can I win that 100 boost and not have to fight for 12 packs in the middle of the field. That's certainly spells a completely different vibe for the Arkansas State squad, who's had a little bit of trouble with that. And time's ticking down here. Kobe's going to leave this off the corner. Bramble to try to find his teammate there in Wild Z, but he finds Kobe instead as he was still up in the play. And stole that boost, too. Arkansas State, they've been starved for quite a while, and they know it, and that's why they're able to punch it right back in. Almost had a chance to be able to finish this one. They still do. Wild Z with the back pass, but maybe a little bit too far back on the angle. Kobe was not able to handle it.
Arkansas State is only getting air through a straw. They are sipping so just needily to try and get beyond this because Texas Tech is smothering them, aiming to get a challenge directly and being physical. Kobe Digit will send this one upfield. He's going to have Wild Z and Bramble at the midfield line, and he goes for a demo. That will fill the gap, and that will almost assuredly send us, for the first time tonight, to a Game 6, Bear.
We're about to see it, and you have to credit this team who just had no quit attitude. They have dug deep, extremely deep, to be able to find this one. The Red Raiders, certainly no stranger to challenges for sure, especially in the Rocket League scene as we've seen in the past, but they have been looking a lot stronger here as Arkansas State not able to get back down to the grounds and try to get that extra shot off. Yeah, it's not looking like they have much juice in the tank here. They haven't been able to start anything in this game, Monkey.
Not one bit. This has been a Red Raiders revitalized squad, and this will send us to, at minimum, a game number 6. The first time tonight they wanted an extra exclamation point, and they'll get it. 3-0 at 0 seconds. So Texas Tech woke up, finally shutting down the Red Wolves, and to be able to begin your reverse sweep, you have to take that first step to make it possible. The second one to make it believable. And the third one forthcoming to make it actual.
Timeout taken here. Yeah, there has to be a timeout here because this team has been struggling in the last couple of games. I know it's super close, right? The last game was certainly in overtime, but like when you see it start to kind of tilt the other way, that momentum starts to flow. It was radio silence from the Red Wolves there. They need to be able to kind of regroup here and find some offense. You can't play on your goal line. We say this all the time and be able to find success. They were threatened. It seems like Texas Tech finally figured out that all that pressure only amounts to something if you're able to get those shots on. And they did a great job of not only just taking shots, taking the right shots.
Very true. And then also, I do like that we're presenting, especially into Div 3 and onward, for best of sevens to exist, because best of 5 feels like a fast jog so even if you're not in BO3 and BO5 is like, all right, this one would have been done. Like, you send a 3-0, boom, it's over. We would have been moving on with our night. To the chagrin of our producer, we move forward. And this allows you to finally key up your players that can be a stud. Bramble has been a menace when they've had chances. We've had real big demos, awesome plays set up by Texas Tech that just took time to finally get in a rhythm and develop, and that is what was missing. Arkansas State, completely missing in that previous game, unable to get out of the pin. They were completely stuck in that latter quarter, and that's exactly the way the Red Raiders want to play. They, I think, had like 11, 12, 13, somewhere in the range of that many shots. They were, from that midfield line onward, just mowing them down, seeing what would stick, and they just wouldn't let them have a moment of respite.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Whenever you put Red Wolves and you trap them in a box, you better hold that box and you better be confident that you're able to hold it tight, because if they get out, they're pissed off. And so it feels that way right now with these timeouts. If you let them any grounds, you can just see them pop off and start to really take it to them. But we've seen this in multiple cases in these matchups around this Div 3, Div 4 range, where these it's not over until it's over. I'll just put it that way. Plain and simple.
Yeah, we've got 5 more minutes. And then if we go to Game 7, another 5 minutes. It'll feel like forever if you're the Arkansas State Red Wolves. For Texas Tech, they will need plenty of time to continue actuating and being efficient. Something that they did very well was make Arkansas State retreat. They would have to consistently look over their heads. The ball's being boomed. Bramble, it was part of that action. Oh, but the double commit might be able to streak their way out of this.
Yeah, finally, they have a little bit of room to breathe, but they weren't able to gather that 100 boost. That one was inching its way closer to the goal line, but they were able to dig it out from that space here. Is Texas Tech. But now they're the ones on their heels here as Arkansas State has come back out, and this is, initial 40 seconds has ticked by incredibly fast, but there's been so many opportunities already. That one's not going to be very threatening, though, as it went to the far side post with no velocity. They're looking to drop it back down here for a pass, but Bramble reads this one all the way. Look out. A little bit of issues, especially if they had Wild Z there on the field. But unfortunately for Texas Tech, he was demoed off, as is Kobe.
Yeah, Big Slow with a great utility play. Oh, this is going to drop. Bramble is covered. I believe they got right on top of him. They don't get a connection with the ball. They got to the player instead. All three will jump. There's no boost. They've got maybe a pad or two to share between them, and they're going to have to just look at it. That ball will clear out. What a moment for A-State to survive. Texas Tech had all the wolves of the pack pinned in. Wow. Opportunity they may not get too often, but they're going to try one more time as they attack immediately. Bramble goes end to end.
I want you all to watch how quickly Bramble was able to react to this one off that back wall. Very underrated. First of all, to catch that one, but then when you read it yourself, it is super difficult to be able to get right back up to that, react that quickly, and then your thumbs be able to do exactly what you want for them to be able to answer that one. A quick bang there from Bramble to be able to pick up on that play as quickly as he did and give Texas Tech the 1-0 lead. And now make it a 2-0 as it's going to collect off the last member of Arkansas State.
Whoa. Balloon had to just park his car. He found this one off a side flip, and unfortunately, that was where the rotation of Big Slow was coming in from the opposite post. Oh no. The way that one goes sideways, we talk about momentum in games like these. We talk about teams, they're good to go. It's a 3-0. Finish the fight. Get the series done. And then sometimes another squad awakens and blunders begin. Texas Tech is putting the Wolves under duress and a fire.
And we welcome everybody coming in from the NECC 2 channel as well. And, of course, you all coming from the Counter-Strike side. We have seen Arkansas State jump out to a 3-2 lead, or sorry, 3-0 lead here in the series. And we've seen a counter punch here from Texas Tech. As that one's free as well, but a big save there from Big Slow. Able to get it before his life is ended pretty closely after.
Was a goal scored by Arkansas State in the previous game? Remind me. I believe it was a 3-0, right?
It was a 3-0.
Yep. So it's been 5 unanswered by Texas Tech since game number 5. The Red Raiders have been able to go upfield and do as they please. Kartop existing in front of the ball, trying to get back to it. Now they're just reliant on Big Slow to keep this one upfield. It has been so tough to manage their boost as Texas Tech has decided to just throw away the playbook and play with pure instinct in mind. They're going to have a moment. Oh, cannot adjust. Bramble will go to the backboard. Arkansas State will have to recede for the moment.
And Bramble's so patient, almost way more patient than I would have been there in that corner defensively to allow your teammate to come over. But the good communication pulls through. That's a demo as well. Opportunity out in front of the top of the box. Now left for a teammate. Great pass, but Wild Z could not quite handle that one on the other side of it. This will open the door here for Arkansas State. But they can't manage to do much with it, and it's because they've been out of boost basically this entire game.
They get upfield and everything seems so unfamiliar. They go on to Texas Tech Bluegrass and they're just like, what? What do we do? The level of efficiency is just gone. The offense is just depleted. Arkansas State is looking like a shadow of their former selves. All of 3 games ago, this team was looking undeniable. An overtime that put Texas Tech into at least survival mode. And now they look like they're the ones in control of this entire series.
Man, oh man. Yeah, how do I put this in Counter-Strike terms for all of our new viewers? They had basically won every single round in the first half, and then they swap, and then suddenly it's like, this side of the pitch, aka like this side, defending side, if you're CT, not going as well, right? So, that being said, Arkansas State is completely silent. They need one here. If they can get at least one goal, is it there? No. Wild Z again keeping them at bay.
I appreciate the education in CS terms, by the way. Oh my goodness, what a challenge. 2 big saves. If you're ever a squad, you don't want the commentators to be saying how good your defense is, at least when it comes to you being behind. 13 seconds left. Arkansas State has not had a goal in 2 games. They need to find their offense because it has ran out of the building. The stadium is missing an offensive Red Wolf. Texas Tech has opened things up from a 3-0 series into a tied ball game. We are going game 7.
We sure are. I mean, look at the difference in shot count. That's insane to me. I don't know what clicked, but that was certainly not what you wanted after a timeout. Once you allowed a little bit of room for Texas Tech, Arkansas State said, hey, we need them to take over. Whatever they were mentioned, it just does not seem to work. A ghost of their former self is how you put it. And that's exactly what they look like. It does not look like they are still here and present. Did they hit their bedtime? I have no explanation here, Monkey.
What is it, 8:53 in Texas? I think they're
Probably
all Central
not.
Time zone. Yeah, so maybe they just had dinner. Maybe it was like a mid-match burrito that just finally kicked in. Regardless, this is cool that we've added best of 7s into Division 3.
Oh, yeah.
Moments exactly like this. Because when they finally got their boots all snugly kicked on, the spurs all spun, Texas Tech has arrived. Arkansas State, the good news, they took that timeout, they chilled, and that previous game, you still have one. A quadruple match point to try and finish it out. It doesn't matter if it gets here, you just have to be able to get the series done. Texas Tech, all the wins in their sails. The Red Wolves, they've got a lot more fans in the chat. Regardless, you guys get loud, so will we. It's game 7.
You went through my thought process as well, which was, you still have all these chances to close out. But, you have to show us something. Like, it needs to be able to, you have to bring it back together. It has to be a full-fledged effort, and it certainly does not mean that you have the momentum walking into this one. So now you have a an awkward moment where you're the one behind in the series because the games are even and your momentum's not, quite frankly. Need to see them score pretty early, especially when it's been a 5-0 count again since your overtime winner back in game number 4.
We need to see them score at all. Just one. Even if it comes down from like kind of a being scored on first, they have to score something. Defend this first minute. Define at least that this wall is going to be tough to get over. The demos, though, are not, as Texas Tech is finding them in surplus. Love that challenge. Kartop on a foot race. He's going to be bumped from the side. Doesn't have any boost at all. Can't even grab that corner. Arkansas State was hoping that Kartop could be able to develop just a little bit. They're playing it slow from the floor. Wild Z from off in the corner. He'll have next touch as well. Bramble's in an awkward recovery. He gets it on the... Oh my goodness, the flip reset. Another big demo. Wild Z was clearing out big slow. Arkansas State is not at all out of the weeds.
No, Bramble was all over that one. In fact, he's trying to bump them too. Texas Tech has been doing this all series long, and they found success just in the last 3 games. But Bramble, again, from Arkansas State, making it extremely difficult for them. From Texas Tech and Arkansas State, still on their heels since this get-go. Bramble has been incredible in the last few especially, and now wants to go right back to it. Look how quickly they were up for that one too. Luckily for Arkansas State, it'll stay wide now, and Cardtail was able to relieve at least a little bit of the pressure.
Bramble is so self-assured. Whenever they finally just give him some leniency to go work, to go cook, they just comes out frying. Less than 3 minutes remaining. This could come down to a 1-0 game. It's gone 3-0, then 2-0. Texas Tech has been denying Arkansas State from getting onto the board for the last couple. They've done an extra half of a game, and the good news for the Red Wolves is that Texas Tech hasn't gotten on the board, but they're primed up. Bramble's going to be in chase. This is going to Bixlow, and Bixlow's trying to come out big.
And when they leave it for a teammate, that's some good production here to at least keep it close, but now you have to get back. Bixlow, the only one there. Not a lot of boost, not enough. It ramps up. It's still free. They get it. Texas Tech on top again.
The over-adjustment, there was no extra boost. They were trying to be able to find that from the opposite side. They just barely cut it away. Balloon had to turn, but what a great follow-up by Kobe to send it to the corner, leave all that extra angle, force both the cutting and turning, all the Red Wolves to be stuck on the right side of the net. They have yet to score. It has been more than 12 minutes of Rocket League between 2.5 games. They've got to find something soon.
Foot pedal on the floor right now for Texas Tech. No quit attitude. Brought it all the way back, and they don't want to leave it dormant. Don't want to leave it free after all the work that they put into this one and this opportunity to show us the first reverse sweep of the season here for NECC that we've been able to watch in week number 1. Kobe, now an opportunity for Wild Z. Now he'll put one in as well. Texas Tech continues to run.
7 unanswered goals between 3 games. Wild Z, fantastic focus and adjustment. You see all 3 of the Wolf Pack trying to chase after that ball, but all they can do is chase. Texas Tech have completely taken over. Kobe will set another one up to the backboard. They have a shooter. His name is Bramble. That is 3.
The floodgates have opened, Monkey, and it is no turning back now. I don't think there's any chance. Arkansas State, they have just been deflated. Ever since that Game 3 victory, Texas Tech turned it around. There were no answers, and none to be found here at this point in time. Minute 39 left, and unfortunately, to the dismay of the Arkansas State individuals in chat right now, not having a good time. Went radio silent about a couple games ago, and just haven't been able to find that solution. And again, in an awkward spot here backwards, they can't get as far as midfield, and this one might actually go. So Carto, they'll break the streak, Monkey, but is this enough?
I mean, you take those. If there's anything that you have to do mid-match and a little bit of extra copium, you will take that one exists on your side of the scoreboard. Arkansas State with 80 seconds left. Doesn't matter if they scored it, they got a Texas Tech player to bite. Something broke. That's all that matters. Cartopo challenge up to Bramble. But it's more so Wild Z that's trying to set up Bramble again. With a minute approaching, this is the death clock. Arkansas State must find another very quickly.
And Kobe left that wide open chance. Oh, what a save for Bramble to get back down. How big have they been in this series? Now looking for a teammate, though. Good passing. This will hit off the ceiling. The tap down and in. Balloon will bring Arkansas State back within one.
First one was an accident. The next one was anything but. Balloon went up, came down, had nothing in the tank. There's nothing left to lose. You've let all 3 of those previous games go. Texas Tech got 3 up on you. And then they even memed a goal in front of you. Arkansas State needs 1. They've got to be able to tie this if we want to see an overtime. Texas Tech need not bend.
And Texas Tech left the door wide open for a minute. I don't know if you saw that. Balloon had an opportunity. Here's Big Slow as well. They tried to punch it through, but a big demo on the backside. It's open. What a save again. A Balloon will keep it alive.
Big pickup by Kobe. You're going to be testing them. How well can they be able to counterplay? Balloon has no boost. Bramble knows it. He's got a teammate, and he's got a finisher. That might be able to settle this one.
Huge goal there, Monkey. And I get it, that seems obvious, but the way that it was trending meant Arkansas State had the door open, and they were going for it. They were charging through, and they were able to shut it just before the Red Wolves' teeth were able to sink through. But there's still time. 18 seconds left. Kobe gonna kill more of it, gets past the last defender, and now it seems like a celebratory run. That's a shot taken. It's saved. Still one last opportunity for the Red Wolves, but it won't be enough. They don't have the time. Texas Tech, the Red Raiders, they bring it all the way back in a reverse sweep fashion, and they will win the series here by the count of 4-3. Wow.
What a reverse sweep set up by Texas Tech. They hit it in that game number 4, and they were able to just inch their way past Arkansas State. A last gasp of effort there by the Red Wolves, but all of it just came up short. You saw the desperation. There were some double commits at the end. You actually got to see some great battlefield and overall pitch management by Kobe. The dude was able to take that ball, steal possession, and not let them set up for more. And even when you kind of flub one, you still see Balloon saying, you know what? That is a chance for us to be able to come up big and make something happen. But those 2 shutdown games, Bear, where they let no goals through, and then for the majority of this one, just making it look like you couldn't get Arkansas State to even get out of their own box. Texas Tech, what a way to be able to come back.
Yeah, it seems like, yeah, absolutely. Credit Texas Tech all day long. Arkansas State, again, you know, you have that advantage, and Texas Tech was able to fight back, and despite all odds, I think it's like definitely lower than 10% chance that you come back in that series, we're able to get it done. This, my friend, is why we play best of sevens. You said it all series long. You want to be able to see these teams in full action, give them the opportunity to come back, and Texas Tech took it. And for Arkansas State, when things went wrong, when it rains, it pours. I mean, even in that last shot, you saw that whenever they left the lobby, the person that took their place was the bot Tex, just to remind them what Texas Tech had done. I mean, that is just speaks to the unluckiness of Arkansas State towards the end of that series, man.
Oh, man. You know what? That's fair. But for everyone out there, thank you guys so much for being able to join us tonight.
Yes.
Awesome fans, awesome programs, fantastic schools, and we need you guys to continue doing that and more. It doesn't matter if it's in losses and successes. Always come out and cheer for your awesome students. These clubs, these varsities, it's great to be able to see them from week to week. And that will be continuing as we still have an entire week of action. We have League of Legends going on tomorrow, and we also have Overwatch 2 that's happening on Friday. I want to give some love over to ReachDad as well as Adam for being our producer and observer working through tonight and dealing with both of us and Bear Light. It was super awesome to be able to be back in the booth with you, man.
Good to be back with you as well, man. I mean, it's just it's never feeling quite like home until I hit one of these streams. So NECC's been awesome. You've been awesome as well, and I can't wait for a great season here as well, as we'll see Pyro J and FBI Tugboat for the first time next week. We're in for a heck of a season. We hope you join us every single week, man. It's gonna be great.
It's going to be fantastic. This first week, we'll continue onward. But for tonight, we are done and over. Make sure to kick up your feet, grab a snack, and just do whatever you can to relax. But for now, I'm Hell Monkey Man. That's Bear Light. You have been fantastic. We'll see you next time.
What an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Yeah, I got to take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself, you will die.
I'll tell you what, you finish the workout, all these could be yours. That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your, no, get after it, and that's your treat. Stay, do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You gotta give it max effort, maximum effort. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big hams. Make it work, those hams. Work 'em. Putting in the work. Yeah, baby. Yes. This is a spicy workout. Gotta make it worth it. Building the beef and bringing home the bacon, baby. I'm loving it. Teriyaki is just about within your reach. Come on, get you some. Come on. Maximum effort. Maximum effort. You're there. You're almost there.